How we doing? Good to see We'll give you a minute to get up there when the name's called. So anyways,
Soleie has 27 grandkids here that I'm not sure how long they're going to last, so. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tyler Nelson. I'm the athletic director here at Rooder High School, and I am a Rough Rider. It is my honor to welcome you to the 2025 Rooder Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Today we celebrate individuals whose dedication, talent, and leadership have helped shape the proud tradition of Rooder athletics. This is our 4th induction class, and yet, even now, we continue to recognize people who, and perhaps should, have been a part of that very first class. That speaks to the incredible success and rich history of our programs, built by so many outstanding athletes, coaches, and contributors over the years. After every ceremony, the committee sits down, and we talk about, I think we got to cut the numbers down. 20, it's a big class, let's cut it down. But when the planning begins, we start remembering past athletes, coaches, and it becomes impossible to narrow it down. So we end up with another big class. In fact, this class intentionally does not have an athlete who graduated past 1998, simply because there are still so many deserving individuals we want to recognize. So if you know of someone from after 98, perhaps a few siblings out there, trust me, their time is coming. I'd like to take a moment and thank the Hall of Fame Committee for their hard work in organizing this event and making sure today is a fitting celebration. From narrowing down the class, to communicating with inductees, to coordinating details of the past few days, this wouldn't have been possible without their dedication. Most of them are with us today. If you're a part of that committee, please stand at this moment. Let's give these committee members a round of applause. All those individuals are coaches or staff here at Red River High School who don't get paid to do things like this. That's part of my job as the athletic director. I get paid to do things like this. They don't, and I depend on them, and we depend on them as a school to step up just like a coach does. So thank you. I'd also like to extend a special thank you to our past inductees who are with us today. Your presence reminds us all that this Hall of Fame is more than just a plaque on a wall. It's a living tradition that continues to inspire new generations of Rough Riders. Fellow or past inductees, please stand as well, if able, so we can recognize you as well. And to all inductees and their families, we want to extend a thank you for your support in helping organize these events, and obviously being here, you're a large part of who they are and where they come from, so we want to thank you for that. Now I'm going to try and keep my time on stage short and sweet, as I know there are far more important people with us today and far more and amazing memories and stories to be told. To our newest inductees, thank you. Thank you for the time, effort, and passion that you poured into Red River Athletics. You left a lasting mark on this school, inspired countless students, and created a legacy that will continue to impact our community for years to come. It is a true honor to officially welcome you as the newest members of the Red River Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations. A couple quick housekeeping items before we move on with the ceremony, get our first presenter up here. The format will go as follows. The presenter will come forward, read the inductee's bio. At that time, and then they'll say a few words. At that time, we'll invite the inductee up on stage. When you do that, we'll get you your plaque. We have a Red River senior, Hudson Murphy, is here taking photos. He's donated his time to be with us today to help capture these memories. So we'd like to get a picture with the inductee and their presenter, and we'll do it right here. So right when the inductee gets on stage, we'll hold the plaque. Hudson's right in the back there, take a picture. And then at that time, the mic is the inductees. That's your chance to say thank you to whoever you may, share some stories. That's your time with the microphone. Also, we just want a quick note, be careful walking down the stairs. These stairs are classic for being really long and not marked very well. So again, as you're making your way to the stage, please be aware of that and just be careful. Got a couple individuals with me here on stage today. Not always the greatest as far as speaking in front of adults, and this was a tough year for the Rough Rider family. We lost two good ones. They're supposed to help me on stage, they're not really helping me right now. Tom Gabrielson and Ken Halgrimson, we lost this year, both past inductees to the Athletic Hall of Fame. They're with us today. We just want to remember them for everything that they have given to Red River High School. I know not being from Grand Forks, they were very instrumental in helping me understand the rich tradition of Red River High School. From Gabe, just those daily meetings, I see him walk by nice and slow to get coffee, and you knew to drop everything because he was coming in the office for a long time to share a lot of stories, which I learned to cherish. Stories that included many of you here today. And Ken, Ken was that old man that kept calling the office saying, why the heck are you scheduling Thompson in basketball? That doesn't do us any good. And so it started out as this pesky old man calling my office all the time. But over the years of getting to know Ken, that pesky turned into passion. And I realized how passionate a 90-year-old man was about this school. Again, because of all of you. So they're with us here today. One quick note that I do want to share. In lieu of flowers, the Halgrimson family decided to ask for donations to the Red River Athletic Department. And so the Hall of Fame and Coaches Council Committee have decided to purchase a mural to honor our Hall of Fame inductees that will go by the new main office. We're hoping this fall or this winter. It's our way again of recognizing the individuals that have given so much to our school. Of course, we do have plaques out there, but if you've noticed, there's not much room left in the trophy case. Every AD's dream is championships and trophies, and every AD's nightmares is championships and trophies because you don't know where to put them all, which is a great problem to have. But again, this is our way of honoring those inductees. Following the ceremony, once again, we invite you to take part in a little social. We have some cake and some refreshments out there, so we invite you to stick around and perhaps share a few more stories. We will take one large group picture at the very end, out by the main office that Hudson will take. So after the ceremony, I'm going to ask all inductees to quickly get over there. We'll take that picture and then we'll let you enjoy your time with your families and classmates. So with that being said, like I said, I was going to be short. I'm going to invite our first presenter up to the stage. Let's welcome Mr. Tim Delmore.
It's great to be here with all these great athletes and the people that have supported them for years and years. I only have two issues up here that are causing me a little duress. One is the one font that I'm going to try to read in the bios. And the second one is most of these athletes I could spend an hour talking about. And it's hard for me to kind of narrow things down. You're going to get really tired of me, so I'll try to keep that down. I have two solutions for that problem. One, if I can't see the stats, I just make them up. And secondly, I have my wife Marilyn right up front. If I go too long, she's just going to give me the thumbs down. So, the first athlete that we're going to induct, and I'm going to read the bios off. First, I'll talk a little bit about him, then I'll read the bio off. Mike Compton. I had the opportunity to compete with Mike Compton. At the University of North Dakota, we were both on the track team at the same time. I also didn't miss a football game that he played in at UND. And I'll tell you what, he was way more impressive than his bio even comes close. So he's a great one to start off with. Mike was a 1974 grad of Red River High School. He was a standout in a multi-sport athlete whose versatility, toughness, and competitiveness led the Rider Athletics in the early 70s. He also earned letters in varsity football, basketball, and track and field. On the football field, he was a dominant two-way player. As a senior, he was first team all-conference on both offense and defense, a testament to his athleticism. He was also named to the All-City team in 1972 and 1973. During his senior season, he set the school record in all-time rushing yards for a season. In track, he was co-captain his senior year and specialized in the pole vault, and he was the 1974 state championship. His mark of 14.2 in the pole vault, which was very impressive, especially at that time, still stands as the Red River High School record, which is amazing. Furthermore, he attached himself to the American Legion baseball team, who won a 1972 state championship. Following high school, Mike continued his athletic career at the University of North Dakota, where he earned athletic football scholarship. At UND, he was a rare dual sport athlete, competing both in football and track for 4 years. His commitment, consistency, and all-around athletic excellence left a lasting legacy at both Red River High School. So I would like Mike to come up, please. And following the picture, a presentation on Mike from one of his friends, Joe Wolfrat.
Wow, what a wonderful occasion. And congratulations to the entire Hall of Fame class. As long as Red River exists, you and your accomplishments will always be remembered. So congratulations to everyone. It's a privilege to introduce Mike Compton's induction into the Hall of Fame. Mike was a superior athlete who excelled in multiple sports. At one time, he held school records in 3 sports. Football in the fall. As a senior, Mike was first team, all conference, both ways, while competing against the likes of Sid Cichy and Fargo Shanley, at the time, one of the most dominant programs in the country. Basketball in the winter, baseball in the summer, although I understand, not directly related to Red River, and of course, track and field in the spring. Mike competed in multiple events, but it was the pole vault where he was at his championship best. As a senior, Mike won the state championship in the pole vault, and along the way set a school record at 14 feet plus, a record which has endured for more than 50 years. I wonder how many records, if any, by any athlete in any sport have stood the test of time as Mike's has in the pole vault. Probably not that many. So Mike, congratulations, well deserved, we're very proud.
It's my buddy, Joe Wolfile. He is a judge in San Diego, California. I'm not so sure he shouldn't run for governor of California because he'd be pretty good. Thank you, Tim, Tyler, and the rest of the committee for making this a very memorable weekend. I can see where you have a tough job that I don't envy, in the sense that there's a lot of great athletes that are here today, and I'm just very privileged and humble to be a part of that. Tyler, you've made me the first one at every event we've been to this weekend, and either one of two things have happened. That you went by age, or you got a hold of my wife and she told you that I take naps every once in a while. If you don't get me up earlier, I may not show up at all. So, anyways, upon graduation from UND, I chose to stay in Grand Forks, and I enjoyed a career in banking at Laris Financial. My wife and I raised 2 girls, I should say 2 ladies right now, Megan and Katie, and they were also graduates of Red River High School, and they too, along with their husbands, have raised their families here in Grand Forks as well. So between the 2 of them, my wife and I have 9 grandkids. 2 of them are at Red River, sophomore, 9th grade. Then we have 8th grade, 7th grade, and 6th grade. And then there was a little lull before 2 sets of twins showed up. So at any rate, there's not many weeks during the year where we can't see a sporting event, whether it's football, baseball, hockey, tennis, or golf, and we're very fortunate to be able to do that. Just quick, can I have my family stand up, please? Come on, Pat and Jeff, my 2 brothers. Thank you. All 9 kids, grandkids aren't here. There's a few of them playing hockey in Bismarck today, so. Red River blood runs pretty deep in my family. My two brothers, Pat and Jeff, along with my dad, taught at or coached at Red River for many years. And their kids went to Red River as well. So there are many lessons that I learned in sports, as did the other athletes here, how to win together, how to lose together, and how to get along with others and respect your teammates. That's a lesson I learned from my dad, and I carried it through my working career. And in closing, one of the wishes that I have is that my grandkids have the same great experience at Red River, whether it's athletics or academics, that I did here at the school. So, thank you very much.
Photographer, how to get a different lens.
Thank you. And again, Mike, I think that that picture resembles a freshman we have here at Red River High School. Maybe one day in a few years we'll be talking about him. We'll see. Our next presenter to the stage, let's welcome fellow Hall of Famer Don Barcombe Jr.
Well, I made it this far. I apologize if my voice doesn't work very good. Two complications. Very honored to be here in place of Rick Hoffman, Red River hockey coach. Mark is a 1976 graduate of Red River High School. Mark made a lasting, by the way, I'm very emotional. I drove from cancer and my father wrote their card. Anyway, Mark was a standout defenseman from the Rough Riders from 1974 to 1976. All conference in 75 and 76. As a sophomore, he played a key role in Red River's first state high school hockey championship. An amazing run. As sophomores, that was a blast. He was named the state all-tournament team during his junior and senior years, helping cement Red River's legacy in future as a hockey power. While in high school, Mark continued his hockey career at University of North Dakota. Recruited by Ruby Bjorkman, played for Gino Gasparini when Gino was the JV coach, and then played for Gino after that. Became the first Red River athlete to be drafted by a pro team. Philadelphia Flyers in 1978, 11th round, 182nd pick. And I do remember that. Future Hall of Famer Aaron Stastny was chosen by the Flyers afterward. Had something to do with the AHL, but they weren't known that. After his playing career, Mark remained very active in hockey. Coaching his kids, Nick and Josh, along with his wife Jody. Josh is here today. They both played in the USHL. Nick went on to play at Mankato State. Mark was an assistant coach for the Oklahoma City Blazers. for about 8 years, I think. Assistant coach at Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma for 4 years, and then head coach at University of Oklahoma. A few years later, his son Josh was head coach at University of Oklahoma. And a little side note, Mark's dad, Mick, played hockey for Central, working over 100 years. Bergie had played hockey. Mark's first skates, when he was 4, he told his dad he wanted to skate. So his dad asked his buddy, some guy named Paulo for skates. Fido came through, they put the skates on Mark at Elks Park, which was to be his 12-month-a-year home. And Mark started skating. One of his sisters said, it just took off. Doesn't surprise us to know Mark. Except that took off quick, moving fast. I've known Mark my whole life, it seems. We've been friends through good and bad for a lot of years. I was going to do a lot more up here after listening to Terry Dumpy 6 years ago. But I got a hold of Mark's friends he grew up with. Asked them for some help. Butch McCon. Growing up in Grand Forks, I played against Mark in youth hockey. Played with Mark in high school and we wanted to play hockey at UND. In my opinion, Mark is one of the most graceful skaters and stick handlers who's played at Rooder. If one goes back and watches the old videos of barbarian skating and stick handling, you'll see similarities of those in Mark. More importantly, however, above all, Mark's skills as a hockey player, he's a great person. Speaking from experience, growing up, having only older sisters in the household tends to keep one in place. But quickly point out when you're being a jerk. I'm happy to see Mark inducted into the World Hall of Fame. Very much deserved. Congratulations, Mark. Jimmy Chupa. From watching started as a rink rat to seeing you make it to the Rivers Hall of Fame. Couldn't be happy for you. Congratulations. Jeff Fox. Mark Bergie was truly one of the most naturally talented hockey players I ever seen up with. His long, smooth strides disguised his deceptive speed. Getting after the goal and defensively was second to none. He never had an ego. Got along with and was liked by everybody on the team. It was a pleasure being his teammate and even better being his friend. Dr. Paul Munyer. Growing up, Mark was always one of the best players in the ice. Did not want to play against him. He understood the game and just loved to play. Jimmy Thorson. Mark was the ultimate rink rat. Always at the park. He had that strong, smooth skating stride with his head on the swivel. His passes were always right on the money. He could 80 spots in the shot. He made us all look better. Great friend for life. Scotty Anderson. After hockey practice, Mark was the only player to take his skates home and play with the kids in House Park. Guys still tell me what a treat it was to play with Bergie when they were young. Dave Blair. Mark was a superb embodiment of a rink rat. He developed a love for the game very early in life in the early route. And lastly, Mike Getz, who also lives in Tennessee. Having played against Mark through all years hockey, and a great fortune of being his teammate at Wiggness. Mark was one of the best hockey players to come out of the He is truly deserving of this great honor. I couldn't be happier for you, my friend. Me, really quick, I was driving April of '96, excuse me, 1976. I was driving down 13th Avenue by Ellis, living across the street. There might have been over 500 square feet of ice available. there was a girl in it, a guy in pads, and Mark. Steve Eichmann was in pads. This is after the log, after state high school tournament, and Mark is practicing taking shots at night. I saw Mark play in Vail for the Mountaineers under NHL legend Barry Mr. No helmet was required. And every now and then, Mark's patent would take the puck the length of the ice, skate behind the goalie net, come back out, flip, shot, score. Absolutely beautiful. In the 90s, when he played for Wichita, he was 34. I was in Denver, I got a phone call. I think I'm going to be playing tomorrow night. Well, I wasn't going to miss it. 500 miles, and watch Mark. His first shot, the really just got a piece of it, flipped up in the stands, and I got that up. It's with great pleasure to introduce Mark Bergie as a member of the Wiggness High School Hall of Fame. Mark? By the way, you guys want to sing happy birthday? It is 67th birthday.
I'm 804 months old. I don't use years anymore. I didn't think I'd try, but I'm not used to people saying nice things about me, I guess. And he makes it sound a lot better than I was. I would like to thank a lot of my coaches that I had growing up. I started with Larry Oliver, who was from Canada. He was a defenseman, because I was a defenseman all the way through. And he helped us out. We were, I don't know the exact age, we were seven or eight. We had him for a couple of years. And we had Curts, who ended up being a Fargo Forum reporter, but he played hockey for the East Grand Forks Greenway. And he was about 5'6", but he was also a defenseman. You know, so I had these defensemen that were teaching me how to coach, or teaching me how to play. But Larry Oliver was very nice. Kurt, he was tough. He was a little short, 5'6" defenseman. So he had a lot of moxie about being tough on the ice. So if we ever lost a game, he would skate us through the whole practice. Outdoors, you know, it's freezing out. He'd skate for an hour, and then he'd say, okay, go warm your toes up, you're skating more. And he was ingrained in me a lot. Kurt was. He did a heck of a job. Then I got Steve Mullally for my junior high years, and he was the nicest guy ever. He was a dentist here in Grand Forks, but he was a great coach too, and I had him and Bill Palmasino coaching me in 9th grade for the all-state team. We played the South Side. I went to Grand Forks South School there, South Junior School there, so I played with guys from Central and Red River, and they were going to go to Central and Red River. And 9th grade, I'm playing with the North Side. That's what I was on that team with, and so I got to play with kids from all over the city. So I was friends with everybody, really. I mean, there was always a lot of animosity between Central and Red River, you know, but as far as, and still, even 50 years later, they're talking to me about how they beat us 50 years ago. And I hate to burst their bubble, but our senior year, we had a team that was, we had the best record the Red River ever had. Our junior team, or when I was a junior, we had a really good team with Goodor and Bushy and Hoffman and Bowman and all these really good players. And we got beat by Roseau 9-4. Mike Bergeron, Butsy Erickson, Neil Broughton, Aaron Broughton, all these guys are going to play in the NHL and play college. And But our team was a close-knit group. We had 7 seniors. We had a sophomore line of Mark Getz. I'm sure everybody in here knows Mark Getz. Mark Getz, Jeff Clark, and Paul Tupa. They were sophomores. They were the second, third, and fourth leading scorers on the team, which is rare. Our seniors did a good job. They just didn't score as well as them. And we ended up beating them 5-3. And it was Rick Alvin's, it's what he used to gauge the program, how far the program has come. Because we got our butts handed to us every time we played against Royce. And that was a big feather in his cap. And it was even today, I talked to some of the guys, like Paul Tupa called me this morning, in fact. And I said, the only thing I remember, you got a hat trick, you know, in that big game. You know, Paul's about this tall and not little tall. Sorry. And it was just, it was a great time. It was a great time of life. I love Grand Forks. I love coming back. I feel good back here. I feel relaxed back here. I'm driving around. I have a pest control business also. I've coached most of my life, but I've also worked during the day. And, but hockey, my sons are developing players now, and I was developing players in Oklahoma City as they were getting older, and I just really appreciate this. I really didn't expect this, you know. I started hearing all the people with 14 letters, 19 letters. I loved hockey. I played hockey, you know. And the park board, I have to finish with talking about the park board, what they did for us. I mean, they would flood the rink every Monday through Friday at 6 in the morning. And if you were lucky enough to get out there when the rink was just flooded, or even after school, nobody's been skating on it. It was the fastest, most smooth ice you've ever seen. And we had a warming house there. Herman would tighten our skates when we were really young. And I know I'm probably going a little long here, but I'll finish up here in a second. But the park board was such an instrumental part of us growing up. I got lucky. My dad and mom bought a house at 1306 South 10th Street. I was 100 feet from Elks Pool, 150 feet from the rink. Lewis and Clark was down here. I had to be a hockey player. I was crawling across that street at 4 years old, and I had to ask my sister if it was true. She said, yeah, I'm the one that had to take it. I've got 5 wonderful sisters. I've got Jeannie and Eileen and Doreen and Diane and Karen. And they supported me immensely, and my parents supported me so much. And my mother, her and Steve Samus's mom, Steve's here, they drove to every game. Our dads had to work, so they couldn't go to the games that much. You know, they would talk to us about how we played and what we could do to be better. But I'm rambling now. But I really do love Red River. I love Grand Forks, and I really, really appreciate this. Thank you.
All right, our next presenters are Monique and Jocelyn.
We are here to present the next inductee, Linda Soleie. 1978 graduate of Red River, was a trailblazer in girls athletics during a pivotal time in school's history. When new opportunities for girls to participate in sports became an option, Linda, our mom, did not hesitate to get involved, trying her hand at track and field, synchronized swimming, cheerleading, and numerous other extracurriculars. On the swimming and diving team is where she really made her mark. As a freshman junior high student, she joined the Riders in the fall of '74. The first year, girls swimming was sponsored by the North Dakota High School Activities Association. She made an immediate impact, placing first in the 100 freestyle, second in the 100 backstroke, and second in the 100 backstroke at the state meet. In 1975, she won 2 more state titles in 200 freestyle and 100 butterfly, both state records at the time. She placed regularly in all of her events and was widely recognized as one of the state's top swimmers. In the off-season, she competed nationwide and finished just outside of a place on the national junior team in 1975. For her efforts, she was named Red River's most valuable sophomore female athlete in 76 and most valuable senior female athlete in 78. Her success in the pool led her to continue her career at the University of North Dakota. Beyond her high school and collegiate achievements, Linda exemplified lifelong athleticism and determination. She has completed 25 marathons, including 5 consecutive Boston marathons, showcasing her endurance and passion for physical fitness. A side note, all of those marathons were after having 6 children. In addition to her athletic accomplishment, Linda raised 6 children with her husband Pierre Lamoureux, who have gone on to achieve historic athletic success of their own, but most importantly, giving them 17 grandchildren. 15 of them are here today. A well-rounded and active student at Red River, Linda was a true pioneer for female athletes and helped pave the way for future generations of Red River women. Just a side note on the marathon, so when she ran her first marathon, her goal was to get it under 4 hours, and I believe you got it just under a hair. And what she did for the following year was train and waited another year before she ran her next marathon, and then her best time ended up being a 7:16, correct? 3:16, sorry. 3:16, which is like a 7:30 mile pace, to put that to perspective. So as a swimmer and a runner, our mom taught us what I think grunt sports are like. Swimming and running, you can't fake the miles, you can't fake the laps, and I think that something I think that we all took was you put your best foot forward every day, no matter what it is, even if it's a sport or something in school that we didn't like, you always put your best foot forward. And I think high school athletics and sports is something that is the best teacher in life skills, being a part of a team, working well with others, working towards a common goal. And I think that is something that we took with us in all of our four brothers, and something that all of these little ones up here take, as well as they move into getting into activities and finding what they are passionate about. So without further ado, the next inductee into the Red River Sports Hall of Fame, Linda Soleie.
Hello, everyone. I'm not good at speeches, so bear with me. I'm deeply honored to stand here before you as a member of the Hall of Fame, and I want to thank Red River High School for this recognition. From my earliest days, athletics have shaped my life in ways I could never have imagined in high school. I competed at the state level in swimming, chasing records, and pursuing new personal bests. Later, I completed 25 marathons, and I can assure you, it never got easier to reach the finish line. The crossing, it always brought me a sense of accomplishment and joy. Throughout my journey, my parents were unwavering in their support, traveling me and my siblings to swim meets across the country. Their encouragement fueled our competitive spirit and helped us grow, not just as athletes, but as individuals. I will always remember my high school principal, Mr. Knutsvig. He never missed an opportunity to congratulate me in the hallways. His words of recognition meant so much and reminded me that our efforts were noticed and appreciated. My coaches were tough, but I always liked that challenge. Today, my husband Pierre and I are blessed with 6 athletic children, each of whom has discovered their own unique joy in sport and competition. Their passion for athletics has become their own legacy, and now, as grandparents to 17 energetic grandchildren, Pierre and I find our days brightened by their laughter and playful spirits. Before I conclude, I'd like to share a quote that has guided me since my youth, a passage from Cliff Cushman's 1964 letter to the youth of Grand Forks. He wrote, "We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us. At least I'm going to try. These words have always inspired me. Thank you again, Red River High. I am forever grateful for this honor.
For our next inductee, let's welcome back Coach Tim Delmore. His wife's got to remind him when he goes up on stage, because he's going to be up here a few times, so.
Thank you. You notice that Kelly is like everybody else. He looks just like this picture up there, right? Kelly Eichenbrock was one of my first years coaching. I was coaching with Tom Gabrielson. And we had this young guy by the name of Kelly Eichenbrock that was a sophomore on the basketball team that didn't get to play very much because we had a lot of seniors. We went down to Wapaton that year, and one of our starters fouled out at halftime. And as we looked down the bench, Kelly was the first one we thought of. We put Kelly in, and since then everything has been history. He had a tremendous athletic career. His grit and toughness is basically his main attributes. Kelly was a 1979 grad of Red River. Kelly was a multi-sport athlete whose toughness and competitiveness made him a well-rounded student athlete. He earned varsity letters in basketball, football, track and field, and leaving a mark in all three of these. In football, Kelly was a force on both sides of the ball. He was named to the All-EDC first team and All-City in 1978 and 1979, serving as a team captain and MVP. He earned a spot on the prestigious Red River Shrine Bowl team. On the basketball court, he was equally impactful, named team captain, team MVP, and the 78-79 KNOX Player of the Year. In track and field, he was a regular point scorer in the 1979 Northeast Regional Championship team. His leadership and playmaking ability earned him the honor of being named Red River Athlete of the Year. After high school, Kelly contributed to a football career at R&D, where he was part of the 1979 Hall of Fame. In 1981, he moved to Bismarck Junior College, earned all conference honors, and went on to save his distinction in the United States Army, and thank you for your service, Kelly, where he continued to excel athletically. Among his accomplishments, he was the B Corps Discus Champion, the U.S. Corps of Engineers Discus and Shot Put Champion, 1991 Fort Hutchinson Football Champion in 1984 with 501st Signal Cub. So I would like to introduce to you Kelly Eichenbrock.
Hello, everyone. My wife told me to write down on a card so I wouldn't forget what to say. Well, I forgot my glasses. I wrote on this little card, so I'm going to be winging it. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee for this selection, this honor, and it is an honor to be around all these other athletes and coaches. It's funny when Tim said student athlete. If you ever seen my report card, student was a little iffy. The only thing that kept me going to high school was sports. Mainly, I loved to ride the bus. I used to hang upside down from the little rack thing. I used to sit by the drivers and talk all night on the way back, driving crazy. Something about buses, I just liked it. Also, before I forget, I got it written here, I'd like to thank my wife, Anna, for putting in my nomination for this. Yep, that's her. I got surprised this morning. My daughter
Kelly Jr., her husband David, and 4 grandchildren showed up this morning and surprised me, so thank you very much. Coaches, I did write something here about them. We'll go with Halgrimson in track. We were at one of the major meets, and I was fooling around trying to bum quarters for hot dogs and a Coke, and Herndon didn't throw well. He didn't place. So Halgrimson blamed me that Herndon didn't place because, for whatever reason. So he made me sit behind him on the bus ride home, and then he wouldn't give me my $5 to go to McDonald's after the game. So finally he relented, and I got to eat some fries. Gabrielson, he taught me a lot of things. He sit me down and tell me, hey, you can't be hitting guys on the team because I don't want to bench you, and all sorts of things. I was going to quit football one time, and Gabe sat me down and he said, hey, basketball ain't going to be your sport. He said, you're not going to get to college playing basketball, so you better stick with football. Wise decision. So I thank him for that. And also, if anyone didn't know that, been around the locker room with Gabe, he was quite the kicker. He could have been a field goal kicker in football because he could kick a garbage can across the room. So let me see here. Well, that's about it. I was really surprised at this. I had so much fun playing sports that I didn't really think about any honors in that. So this is a great honor, and I appreciate it.
It's a joke, no one's taking a picture.
No, you got it. You're good. All right, our next presenter to induct Dean Rooder is Carrie Jagger.
Got it right here. Am I on? I'm on, okay, good. Hello, I'm Carrie Jagger. Really honored to be here today and to induct Dean Rooder into the Hall of Fame. I could tell you a lot of stories. It wouldn't be a speech, it'd be more like musing, and my wife says I amuse too much. But Dean is the first big success I had as a student athlete coming out of here. And the honest truth about it is, I didn't think I did anything. He was just that talented. And what amazed me most about Dean was that he could turn on his focus switch anytime he wanted. The problem was I could never tell if he turned it on or not. And between a point, tennis coach, between a point I go talk to him and he's wondering whether or not he's going to prom. And you know, you're in the finals here. But no, Dean was very focused. When he wanted to get out there and do something, as soon as he grabbed that tennis ball, he knew it was over. He was on his way. And there are many other stories, but that includes a lot of other athletes that I haven't seen here today, so I'm not going to bring up names. But I'd like to read this to you and get Dean on the road. Dean Rooder, a 1981 graduate of Grand Forks Red River High School, was a standout tennis and basketball player for the Riders. On the hardwood, Dean was a starting point guard on the 1981 basketball team and emerged as a key contributor for the fifth place Rough Riders, finishing with a 19-5 season.
In tennis, Dean played #1 singles for 3 years, earning all state honors as a sophomore and junior before winning the North Dakota State Singles title in 1980 as a senior. He continued his career at the University of North Dakota, earning 4 varsity letters and leading them to back-to-back North Central Conference championships in 1984 and 1985. He was a 3-time NCC #1 singles and doubles champion, qualifying for the NCAA Division II National Tournament each year. In 1985, he became the first UND men's player to win a match at National. Dean was inducted into the UND Athletic Hall of Fame in 2020. He was also inducted into the North Dakota State Tennis Hall of Fame and the North Dakota Athletic Hall of Fame in 2024. Rooder went on to become a decorated Minnesota high school tennis coach, leading teams at St. Paul Academy, Washburn, Bloomington, Jefferson, and Eden Prairie to multiple state championships. His players won several individual state titles, including a 4-time Minnesota State Singles Championship. That's amazing. Dean has worked as a tennis professional at the top clubs across Minnesota and is currently the director of racket sports at Lafayette Club in Minnetonka Beach. As a USTA Elite Certified Tennis Professional and Certified Pickleball Pro, he's known for giving back through youth programs and volunteering and coaching. Dean is most proud of his 3 sons, Dylan, Brady, and Spencer. Please assist me in welcoming Dean Rooder to
I'm not deserving of this. First, Diana Page and Brian Ehrman and Janet, thanks for coming. I thank Tim and Tom at the UND1, so thank you for your help. Kind of growing up in Grand Forks, it's funny, Jeff the Booster, he's here. I talked to him earlier. He was coaching hockey at Park Board at Elks Park way back when. I remember with him, we were losing in the championship game and came into the locker room and just slammed the door. It's like, you guys can't even hold on to your sticks. People were just flipping our sticks, and we're like, and then Brian Kraft, he was coaching us in baseball. So we just had great coaches in Grand Forks. And then at South Junior, Joe Ford and John Horperdal. In basketball, were great coaches. In tennis, I would not be up here. You know, I don't know, Paul Copain should be up here. He's the one that got me going into tennis. He was the best player in tennis, 12s, 14s, 16s. And his dad got transferred to California, so he left. Otherwise, he would have been a 3-4-time state champion for sure. So he got me going in tennis in 7th grade. And 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, we got out of school at South and rode the bus to wherever for varsity matches at Red River, to go to Fargo and Washington and all these. So the seniors didn't appreciate it, so they kind of beat us up on the bus. So, and then Carrie, we went through, 4 coaches in 2 years in 7th and 8th and 9th grade. So Carrie came, big wrestler, you know, he's an Olympic talent wrestler. So he was our coach. And we thought, oh my gosh, looking at him, strong, big, he's just gonna kick us. So anyways, what you're saying is, my parents, for me, they were the best parents. I never played with the fear of losing. If I won, they were like, good job. If I lost, good job. I never felt there's fear of losing. You know, and I took that coaching too. I told my players, I don't care if you lose, anyways, that's sort of, but Carrie was the same way with me. There's an I remember, I think it was maybe in junior, he mentioned it, one of the reporters said, oh, it does, Dean doesn't concentrate very much or something. Carrie's quote was like, just look at his eyes, and you had, that he had my back. So, coaching, my main priority is I just never wanted my players to play in the fear of losing. So, Carrie was the reason for it. So, thank you. And I just, seriously, I did not think I deserved this. So, when Tyler called me, I thought it was a prank, because four of us pranked this one guy in the seniors. And I almost hung up on him. The guy got the three other kids coming back, so I thought, dude, seriously, prank. Thank you all for your work and stuff. So, Dan, thank you. Love you. Can't wait for the next 40 years. So, thank you.
Forgot something I actually read on my paper. I'm sorry.
I've got the most important people here, and that's my mom and dad. I love them, and they supported me all through my high school and everything, so I'm sorry I read it though, so I'll give you this later, I can show you. So thank you very much.
When you're a Hall of Famer, you do whatever you want. So, open mic. Our next presenter, let's welcome fellow Hall of Famer Don Zimney to the stage.
So I got a phone call a couple weeks ago. They said, so are you going to talk at the Hall of Fame thing? And I went, sure, why? And they said, well, Coach Gene Royce is being inducted. And I said, absolutely. It was my privilege to coach with Gene for, what did we decide? 86, I think, to 92 or so, somewhere in there. Anyway, we had a great ride together. It was a pleasure to coach with her. A lot of coaches are good when they know X's and O's and they know how to train you, but I think one of Jean's biggest attributes was that she could relate to the kids and she cared about the kids. And that's why they played so well for her. A couple of her former players are here, which is pretty cool. So let's get this moving along and I'll read this. Gene Royce built a legacy of excellence at Red River High School, serving as both the teacher and the head girls basketball coach from 1984 to 1992. She compiled an impressive 115-85 record during her 9-year tenure. She led the Rough Riders to 4 EDC championships, 1988, 89, 91, and 92. She guided her teams to 5 state tournament appearances. Coach Royce was named EDC Coach of the Year on multiple occasions. Her program reached the pinnacle in 1988, winning the first ever girls state basketball championship. That same season, she was named North Dakota High School Coaches Association as Basketball Coach of the Year. The Riders again reached the state title game in '92, finishing as runner-up in her final season as head coach for the Riders. In addition to basketball, Royce contributed to Red River Athletics as a volleyball assistant coach from '85 to 1987, as a track assistant coach from 1989 to 1993. Her coaching career extended well beyond Red River with success at Grand Forks Central, UND, Williston, and Moorhead State University. Over the course of her 25-year coaching career at both the high school and collegiate levels, she coached in more than 550 games, leaving an enduring impact on the athletes and programs she guided. Royce's influence on North Dakota athletics has been recognized statewide. In 2006, she was inducted into the North Dakota Amateur Basketball Hall of Fame. Beyond basketball, she's excelled as one of the state's top amateur golfers, capturing 2 state titles during her playing career. It's my pleasure to introduce Gene Royce. glasses up here, I think. I got something to, you said we could donate to something? Clothing? I just want you to say, did this ever fit me? Well, I know we like to wear things big, but I don't know. Okay. I made quite the entrance, didn't I? Glasses. I typed this out. I had to cut it way back because I want to stay within 5 minutes. I'm just going to read this, but a lot of thought and a lot of love went into this. Okay. Thank you to my family. That is key to, I think, its upbringing. And I had great parents. I had great siblings, and 2 of my brothers are here, and their wives, and I thank them for coming. Doug and Dave, and my husband Steve for enduring this weekend. Met a lot of people I think he enjoyed for the most part. Thank you to Tyler and his committee who organized this great event. Thank you, Dawn, DZ, for being there, for being here, reading my bio. She deserves a lot of credit for this award. All my assistant coaches do. Being an assistant is a hard job, especially in basketball, because we start to steal their players as they get better during the year and move them up to the varsity. Thank you, my fellow teachers, coaches, and administrators who helped this rookie immensely from day one, thrown into the fire. And I didn't want to put a bunch of names because I'd forget somebody, but I do just want to give a shout out to Tom Gabrielson. Rest in peace, Gabe. Thank you again for my parents, well, the parents of my players and students. Okay, I lost my place. All right, where to go? They were very supportive early in a career. One of them taught me not to assume and defining that for me. And if you don't know the definition of assume, I'll tell you later. It's not nice. And I especially want to thank, finally I want to thank all my students from all my years, not just the athletes, at Red River. They made me look forward to coming to work every day. And I especially want to thank the student athletes I coached in volleyball and track as an assistant, and those under being head basketball coach. They bought into the need to work hard in order to be their best, taking advantage of the open gyms, the weight rooms, the summer leagues, and the camps. In the girls' basketball program, we built it into a winner year by year, with every team at every level, all of which were special. From Julie Langamo hitting those free throws at EDC to get to our first state tournament, which was not predicted. To my last team that probably had the most talent, but had to beat a team we had beat 3 or 4 times during the season to win state. And we lost at the buzzer in overtime. The seniors, one is who will be inducted here today, were heartbroken. So at our banquet after the season, I told them second place was their destiny. I didn't, because we already had a first, a third, a fourth, and fifth. So we just needed that second place trophy, I guess. I don't know if it made them feel any better, but they laughed. One of those seniors is here. Like I said, congrats to Jill, who you'll hear about later, a 3-sport athlete, which I always encouraged the kids to do. I will end, though, with the state champs of 1988. A team with a wide range of different talents and sizes. It had a 5'1" point guard, quicker than quick, a 6'1" post player, a rebounding machine, 2 excellent defensive players, a talented forward who could score and rebound with the best, a pure shooter, a state champion golfer who came off the bench to do whatever was asked of her, and several seniors who didn't get to play much, but they were ready when called upon and made our practices very competitive, pushing everyone to get better, to be the best, actually. And finally, the play. Everywhere I went for the next 5 years, they found out who, like Coach Ray, oh, I remember that play that I learned from a Montana coach at a summer basketball camp. Anyway, that helped us to come back and win. And Crystal, are you here? Hey, Crystal. Okay, so we never practiced this play in practice because we practiced this other one that never worked. I don't know why. And so we just drew it up on the whiteboard. There was 4 seconds left. We were down by 1 point. And I drew it up for Crystal to draw a foul. And she didn't tell me till years later, when she walked out on the court. We always went 4 across, so she knew her spot there, but she said, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I said, why didn't you ask? What was your reply? I was too scared. I don't know. But anyway, when she saw somebody guarding the inbounder, it clicked in. So she went over, set the screen, the girl ran right over. And then the hard part wasn't over. She had to go down and make the 2 free throws, which the pure shooter did. So anyway, this induction award is not just mine. It belongs to all the people I just thanked. And besides all those people, I thank Jesus for the crown that I will get, the better crown I will get someday. And I want to say congratulations to all the inductees. I got to meet and talk to several of you, and I really enjoyed it. And thank you, Tyler, again.
All right, for our next inductee, let's welcome back to the stage Coach Carrie Jager.
You want your glasses? Okay. Thanks for having me back, but you didn't have a choice. This next gentleman, geez, I just don't know what to tell you. All I know is that when he was out for wrestling, is John Cocker still here? I don't know. Oh, John, are you paying attention? Thank you. John and I were wrestling coaches, and we would take a look at Brian, and we have a lot of big guys. I mean, Bob Fowler, and Tracy Mask, and LRC, even Tim Tambeski was big back then. And, we had to work out with these guys, and I said, John, are you going to go wrestle him? And he goes, are you nuts? You don't expect me to go out there and wrestle him, do you? I mean, we were actually afraid, very afraid. But I get the honor of introducing Brian today and getting him on his journey as an inductee in the Red River Athletic Hall of Fame. And his bio reads, Brian Hoffman, a 1984 graduate of Red River High School, excelled as a multi-sport athlete in football, wrestling, and track and field. He earned 3 varsity letters in football, 4 in track, and 2 in wrestling, building a career defined by toughness, leadership, and championship success. On the football field, Hoffman was a dominant force, earning all conference and all state honors in both 1982 and 1983. His teams consistently contended at the highest level, advancing to the state quarterfinals as a sophomore, finishing as state runner-up as a junior, and reaching the state semifinals his senior year. Hoffman was also a standout wrestler, earning all conference honors his senior season with an EDC individual title, and placing third at state on the track. On the track, he was one of the team's top sprinters and played a key role in the 1983 Red River team that captured the North Dakota State Championship, contributing to one of the program's most successful eras. Following graduation, Hoffman continued his athletic career at the University of North Dakota, where he became a 4-year starter at running back for the Fighting Sioux. His collegiate career was capped by earning all conference honorable mention honors as a senior, further cementing his reputation as a versatile and impactful athlete. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian Hoffman to the
Hello. I guess I was the same way as far as hearing about an induction to the Hall of Fame at my high school. I never really knew there really was a thing. So it kind of surprised me and wasn't in the same thing. Somebody playing a joke or what was going on here. So I didn't return Tyler's calls or his texts for quite some time. And then finally I responded back to him and probably was wondering what's going on with this guy. But while I was here at Red River, I had wonderful years. I had wonderful teammates, wonderful coaches, great teachers. And I just can't thank them enough for all the stuff they let me be involved in. I truly loved playing sports and being involved. Every day I stepped on the football field, I just had a blast. On the wrestling mat, the same way. It was a battle all the time with my buddies, Bob, Anna, Tracy. Maybe rest in peace. But those were the things I loved the most, and being on the track and just running with Bob as our coach, encouraging us and winning these state titles. One of the greatest things I think we ended up going. This is 4x4. To win the state title, we had to take like third. There's all sorts of controversy about somebody stepping on a line or something, but ended up we got third and won the state championship by half a point. So, but again, I'm not going to talk too much longer here. I just wanted to thank everybody, the committee, you, Tyler, and just it's an honor to be with all the inductees just in the 2025 class. Again, thank you so much.
He is strong. He's ripped my arm off there, so. All right, next we're gonna welcome back the man who has left his glasses up here for most of the ceremony. Let's welcome back Tim Delmore.
Thank you. Two of the things that I get real concerned with as I age. One of them is, did I remember to wear pants today? And I took care of that. And where are my glasses? And there's a lot of people that help me keep track of those also. The next athlete that I'm going to talk about is Scott Marart. And for those of you that are streaming right now, we'd like to welcome you to that. And for those of you out there, this is being streamed, so you can watch it again later if you need that access. One of the most common questions I get asked as a coach that's been around a long time is, who's the best athlete you ever coached? That's really a difficult question because I've coached a lot of athletes and I've seen a lot of athletes. A lot of them are out here right now. But one that comes to mind as far as sheer athletic ability is Scott Marart. Scott was 6'2", he was strong, he was fast, he was quick, but the biggest attribute he had was athletic knowledge. Scott knew sports. Whether it was on the basketball court or as a quarterback in the football field, Scott always had his head in the game, and he was an excellent leader, very quietly. He was a 1985 graduate of Red River High School. Scott was one of the most accomplished multi-sport athletes of the time, excelling in football, basketball, and track and field. Known for his athleticism, leadership, and consistently, Scott earned 8 varsity letters, 3 in football, 3 in basketball, and 3 in track. On the football field, Scott was a standout performer, earning all EDC and all city honors in both 1984 and 1985. In 1985, he was the Sportscaster Football of the Year. His talents seamlessly translated to the basketball court, where he earned all city, all EDC recognition in both 84 and 85. He was also selected to the Class A All-Star basketball team his senior year. He capped off his senior year by being named the Sportscaster Basketball Player of the Year, one of the few athletes to receive that honor in both major sports. Scott also contributed to Red River's success in track and field, earning 2 varsity letters during his career. His athletic excellence extended beyond individual sports, as he was named the Red River High School Athlete of the Year as a sophomore, junior, and senior. In 1985, he was also honored with the U.S. Army Reserve Scholar Athlete of the Year for both athletic and academic accomplishments. And he was also named on the All-Decade team in both football and basketball. So congratulations to Scott Marart.
And again, just a quick note as the ceremony continues, there are bathrooms that are just outside the theater, just right down the hall. So if you need to sneak out and take care of that, they are available. So our next presenter will be presenting the next 2 inductees. Let's welcome Coach Jay Johnson to the stage.
Very honored to be here to introduce 2 of the top players that I've ever had anything to do with, 2 of the top people I've ever known in sports. And starting out, it would be James or Jim Carner, as I know him. I'll read his bio and I have some comments that I'll make. James Carner was a 1988 graduate of Red River High School. He was a standout multi-sport athlete who excelled in cross-country, golf, and most notably hockey. Carner letters 4 years in both cross-country and hockey, and once in golf, showcasing a rare blend of endurance, precision, and athleticism. On the ice, he built one of the most decorated careers in Red River hockey history. He was a 2-time All-EDC, All-City selection and played a pivotal role in back-to-back state championships in 87 and 88. In 1988, he was named the state tournament MVP, capping a legendary high school hockey career. At the time of graduation, Carner was the career leader in scoring at Red River, tallying approximately 85 goals, 75 assists for 160 points. In 2000, he was honored by the Grand Forks Herald as a selection to the prestigious All-Century North Dakota State Hockey Team. Following high school, Carner played 2 years in the USHL, helping Omaha to a 3rd place national finish in 1989-90. And he went on to play at Bemidji State University, where he helped the Beavers capture back-to-back NCAA Division II national championships in 93 and 94. And during the 1993-94 season, he led BSU in goals, assists, points, and he earned Titan Small College 2nd team All-American honors. Now I'll add a few things that weren't maybe necessarily covered in that. I remember hearing about Jim when he was an 8th grade player. People were telling me about Carner. And so I went to see him play a couple games as a Bantam player. Now as an 8th grader, he's playing with guys that usually are about a year older than him. He had great hockey sense and great skills. As a 9th grader on our team, the Red River team, he began the season on the JV team. And that was because of me. I'm a little bit more of a conservative coach, and moving a 9th grader right into varsity might not be the time for him to do what we need players to do on the varsity. So he began the season on the JV, playing for Gordon Christian. After 5 JV games and scoring 27 points, I thought maybe he was ready. I said, let's give him a shot. What a coaching decision, huh? Well, he scored his first varsity goal against Grand Forks Central. It couldn't be any better, right, Jim? And he did it on a one-on-one against their top defenseman. He turned him inside out and went in and scored a huge goal for us. And that's one goal that I will always remember. Of all the places I've coached, that's one goal I still remember. He was a cross-country coach, or a cross-country runner with great endurance on ice. And during the senior season, 87-88, our team started off kind of slow. Our team had pretty good depth. We always did. We had lots of players. But if you were going to try to play 4 lines, it means you're going to limit your top players to the amount of time that you probably need them out there. So I got a crazy idea. I thought, well, maybe we could do something with Jim, because he didn't seem to be tired when he come off the ice. Even though he'd be working his bottom off, he could still go. So I talked with him, and I asked him if he could consider going every other shift. And in some cases, he couldn't go every other shift. We had another guy on his team that could fill in at center. So what we had a 4-line rotation, and we had 2 first lines because of that. Because whoever Jim played with was a first-line player immediately. It created lots of problems for a lot of coaches, especially Chuck Ness, my friend, but he didn't know how to match lines against us. Because if he put his first line out every other shift, they were out. We had enough that we could play 4 lines with Jim double shifting. And it went on to get us a state championship. I think, I don't know of any other team that had 4 lines playing then. I know there are some that do it now because they do have the depth, but I think that set a precedent then. He was a key player on the 87-88 championship team, and he was no doubt the top player his senior year. At that time, there was no Mr. Hockey Award, but if there was, he would have won it. He's the top type person that any coach would love to have on his team, or employ as an employee. And he just made my job so much more fulfilling, and I'm so honored to recognize Jim Carner. Come on up, Jim.
Thanks. This is a great honor to be with all these amazing athletes. In fact, Scarper yesterday, when we were on the football field being introduced, he said, wow, with all these resumes, are we sure we're supposed to be up here? But thank you for the committee for selecting me. In May, I was sitting at my desk in Salt Lake City, and I got a buzz on my cell phone. It was a 701 area code, and I thought, who is calling me from Grand Forks? And I was just gonna let it go, like we all do, let those phone calls go, and I answered, and it was Tyler, and he introduced himself and told me I was gonna be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I've had kind of a grin on my face ever since then, so that was a nice pick-me-up. I wanna thank my family. My 2 sisters are over there. they supported me in hockey, my parents too. And in a weird coincidence, I started hockey because my oldest sister Kathy was dating Mark Bergie, who was a fellow inductee. So when I was 5 years old, Mark got me into hockey. And I appreciate that. And like Mark, it's been a love affair with hockey for the last 50 years. And I've been coaching. I coach my daughter now, so that's great. I also like to thank Coach Johnson. When I got to Red River, there was a lull in state championships. We had won in 74 and 77. And it was just, there was a lot of good teams at Red River that went in #1 to the state tournament and couldn't pull it off. And Coach Johnson put together that team in '87, and we were tough. We were really good. We had to do it against Central in the championship games. We had beat them twice in the season. It's not easy to beat a team 3 times, but we got it done. Brought that championship home, and then all the other players, we won the next 3 or 4 years the state title, and I think Red River has won a total of 14 or 15 now. So I feel like Jay was the catalyst in that team and in the moment to get Red River over the hump. So just, I'd like to thank you, and I'm just proud to be a Red River graduate, and I had a great time here for sure.
All right, Jay, you're up again.
Next, I'd like to recognize Chad Scarper. I'll read his bio. Chad Scarper was a 1990 Red River High School graduate, excelled in he was a 2-sport standout in both hockey and golf, earning 6 letters, 3 in each sport. On the ice, Scarper was a key force in one of the most successful eras of Red River hockey, a 3-time state champion in 1988, 89, and 90. He capped off his career as team captain by scoring a game-winning goal in the 1990 state championship against crosstown rival Grand Forks Central. And he was named co-MVP of the 90 state hockey tournament. He was selected for the all-conference and all-state teams in both junior and senior years. Scarper's achievement extended to the golf course, where he was equally important and dominant. He helped lead Red River to the 1990 state team championship while also capturing the individual state medalist title, establishing himself as the top high school golfer in North Dakota. He was an all-conference and all-state selection during both his junior and senior years. Scarper continued his golf career at Indian River State College in Fort Pierce, Florida, one of the nation's premier junior college golf programs. And as an amateur golfer, Scarper became one of the Grand Forks' most accomplished players, capturing multiple NDGA titles and adding prestigious wins at both the Pine to Palm and Birchmark tournaments. Now I'll have some comments. Well, certainly his game against Grand Forks Central in the state final, and that was my final game coaching Red River. It's one that went, I think that was double overtime. It was at least overtime, I remember that. And both teams had a chance to win a few times. There were multiple chances for us and for Central. But there couldn't have been a better choice if you were writing a book, who's going to score that winning goal. Because Chad got it, he turned around, the net was open, he fired it in, and my blood pressure went down about 100 points. But I guess there was a couple of things that happened during the season. One of them was against Grand Forks Central. I remember that Chad had scored at least one shorthand goal in that game, and it turned into, that was the reason we won the game. Our players went in the locker room, showered and everything. We were leaving, and I understand that the Central guys were still in there hearing Coach Ness telling them about the game.
And we got on the bus and left, and I think they were still in there into the wee hours of the morning. And it was another great individual effort, but a team effort on top of it all. There was a fellow named Larry Ross. He is a legendary coach from Minnesota, International Falls. He coached Dean Blaze. And after he retired, I met him working at the Bemidji hockey camp in the summer. And everybody called him Pops Ross. Well, he was a North Star scout at that time, and I remember he talked to me, said, whatever happened to that little center you had? Geez, he was a good hockey player. Well, that was Chad. Another thing, it was mentioned that he was a 3-time champion. There were only 2 people that at the time that I was coaching that could say that. That was Gord Campbell and Chad Scarper. We had a lot of good players go through there that couldn't say that. And then again, like I said about Carner, he was a great person, so was Chad. They're the kind of guys that coaches coach, and that's why we coach. We didn't coach for the money. We coached for the players that we work with, and today it's just a great day for me to be able to see those guys, talk with them. We had a lot of fun last night sharing stories. How many were true, I'm not sure, but I know we had a great time. I'd like to introduce Chad Scarper, the next Hall of Fame member.
Awfully right up here. Thanks again, and I can echo what a couple other people have said as well. When Tyler called me and so forth, I didn't believe it as well. I do, you know, I go back and I think we kind of touched on it. I should have been up here before my brother Tim, but that's a whole other story. But he knew I was going to make a little comment there. So again, I'd like to thank Red River High School and the Hall of Fame committee as well. And again, it's a special thanks to Tyler for all the efforts you guys put into this weekend. It's just been a great weekend. I'd also like to congratulate the other inductees. As Jim and I were talking last night, again, pretty impressive to hear what all of you guys have accomplished. And I was kind of at the football game last night, kind of wondering what the heck did I do to deserve this after listening to all you guys. So, congratulations to all of you guys. I'd like to thank my teammates. Obviously, all the hard work, all the memories, everything that we kind of created through the years. It was a lot of fun, and most importantly, I'd like to thank everybody for all the great friendships that we developed during that time as well. I'd like to obviously address my coaches. I'll start on the hockey side with Coach Jay. In high school, I can't say enough about Coach Jay Johnson and the team of assistants in Brian Westland, Mike Lemoyne, and Perry Nakonechki. We had a great balance between a good cop and a bad cop. We knew when we had to get to work. They held us accountable, and most importantly, we had a lot of fun. And I think obviously winning probably created that fun as well. It made it a little easier to have fun when you're winning. Again, Coach Jay and his assistants were just, I can remember as a kid growing up in Grand Forks in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, we could not wait to get to high school just because of what that tradition and everything that was being built, and the excitement and everything that they put in place. So I'd love to, again, want to really just thank Coach Jay and the assistants. On the golf side, I get lucky enough to talk about Gabe as well. Gabe was our golf coach. As said before, Gabe was loved by everybody, and just a wonderful man, as we all know. One little story as far as the golf side went with Gabe. When you had golf tournaments, you typically would be 9 o'clock starts, whether it was Fargo or Jamestown or wherever we traveled to. And Gabe had a big blue pickup, oversized pickup with a topper in the back. And instead of taking a school van or bus or whatever that you'd probably take in today's world to golf tournaments, Gabe would want to drive his pickup. And I was the only senior on the team, and my brother Matt was a sophomore and on the team, and Gabe made Matt, and I forget who else, 2 other guys to sit in the front cab with Gabe so that I had more room in his back of his pickup with a sleeping bag so I could sleep on the way to the golf tournaments. I don't think you could probably do that today, but. And we get done with the golf tournament, and it was always a quick, immediate stop to the Dairy Queen as well afterwards. But he used to say, I mean, he would say, I'm not a golf coach. I'm just your taxi driver. I want to get you guys to the golf tournaments, and everything was about his players and just putting them in the best place to be able to compete and have a fun time. Obviously, I'd like to my family, my in-laws, the Johnsons, thanks for everything over the years. My mom and dad, thanks so much for the love and opportunities that you provided to us as kids. My brothers, Matt, Ryan, and Tim, all of the battles and competitiveness that we had within the house. We had one brother that was he was a goalie, so he created some pretty tough competition and took it maybe a little too far once in a while. But again, to Matt, Ryan, and Tim, I just want to thank you guys for everything. And then as far as my own personal family, to confirm, Jay, that it was double overtime. My wife Jess and I started dating in 1989, and she was actually a Central grad in 1990, so same age. We started dating our junior year in '89. To about 1 year later, after we started dating, was about the time the state championship game was going on. And I was lucky enough to score that winning goal in double overtime. And after celebrating with our teammates and coaches and what have you, I happened to look up in the Central student section to notice Jess standing up and cheering after me scoring the winning goal. It's actually not true, but I had to get that in. And we've been together ever since, and in November here around Thanksgiving time, it'll be 30 years that we've been married as well. We live in Fargo. We have 3 great kids, Alex, Jacob, and Zach. Alex was lucky enough to play golf at UND. Our middle son, Jacob, is a senior on the golf team at NDSU. And our youngest, Zach, is a freshman at UMary in Bismarck. And I just want to thank everyone again, and love you all.
All right, next to the stage to help us induct Jill Pollard is Jeff Pollard.
When you play hard. When you work, don't play at all. Do what you can with what you have where you are. 2 famous quotes that Teddy Roosevelt mentioned and epitomizes my sister so very well. In 1993, graduate of Red River High School, Jill Pollard was a standout 3-sport athlete, earning an impressive 12 varsity letters, 3 in volleyball, 3 in basketball, and 6 in tennis. In volleyball, Jill earned all-region and all-state honors, and was instrumental in leading the Rough Riders to back-to-back state championships in '92 and '93, including an undefeated season in '92. On the basketball court, she earned all conference honors in '92 and helped guide Red River to state runner-up finish in 1993. Jill's tennis career was exceptional as well, competing at the varsity level from 7th through 12th grade, and helped her team earn 3rd place state finishes in '88 and '89. Earned all-state honors and served as team captain in '92 and '93. She placed 3rd in singles and helped the Red River Rough Riders to back-to-back state championships in 92 and 93. In 93, she was named Prince High School All-American Honorable Mention. After graduation, Jill continued her athletic career at the University of Minnesota Morris, competing in tennis, basketball, and volleyball. She was a 4-year letter winner in tennis, earning team MVP and all-district honors in 93 and 94. In volleyball, she was named team MVP in 96 and 97 and played basketball in 93. In 97, Jill was honored with the Willis Kelly Outstanding Female Athlete Award, the university's highest athletic honor for a woman, recognizing her excellence across all sports. As this generation would say, she's just built different. I'm honored and humbled to introduce the newest member of the Red River High School Hall of Fame class of 2025, the best sister God could give a brother, Jill Paulo.
I'm incredibly honored to be here and deeply grateful to be inducted into the Red River High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you to the selection committee and you especially, Tyler, for planning this whole weekend for us. It means a lot to me not to just be remembered for the accolades that were earned, but the time spent on the court, in the gym, and in the weight room. Thank you to my brother, my older brother, by the way, for paving the way and making life so much easier for me and for reading my bio today. I'd really like to thank all of my coaches as well. Every single one of them is here today, and every single one of them is already in the Athletic Hall of Fame, so I think that's pretty cool. I'll start with Jean Royce. She was more than just a basketball coach. She was somebody I truly looked up to. Her strength as her own athlete and her presence as a leader made a lasting impression on me, which is why I chose her to be my confirmation mentor. She modeled what it meant to lead with integrity, to compete with heart, and to show up for others. I'm especially proud to be inducted alongside her today. It's kind of a full circle moment. Coach Terry Horpedal, my volleyball coach. She was a strong force of belief and expectation. She started with building a foundation of trust with each of the teams. Then she pushed us really hard. She knew our potential. Her standards were high and her coaching was tough, but it always came from a place of deep commitment to our growth as athletes and as people. Coach Kerry Jagger. He wasn't just my tennis coach, he was my mental coach. He always had an incredible ability to say exactly what I needed to hear in the heat of a match, whether it was cracking a joke because I needed that, or some constructive feedback just to get into the next game. He was always there to refocus me and help me play with confidence. And I would be remiss not to call out each of Tom and Tim Wynn. While they weren't my direct tennis coaches, I may have spent more time on the court with them in my formative years than any other coach, so thank you. Thank you to these coaches who pushed me, the teammates who came alongside me, and the fans who cheered us on from the sidelines. Thank you for sharing, or for helping create not just the athlete that I was, but the person that stands before you today. When I think back to my time as a student athlete at Red River, it's not the scores that come to mind. It's the grueling two-a-day practices. I don't even know if those are allowed anymore. The long bus rides, and the moments of laughter and grit shared between coaches and teammates, many of whom I call friends still to this day. I remember learning how to push through fatigue, how to stay focused under pressure, and how to pick myself up after a tough loss. Those lessons didn't just apply to the court, they stayed with me in every chapter of my life. Whether it was the hours of passing drills with Coach Horp, the mental coaching sessions with Jags, or running lines with Coach Royce. Each experience taught me something very valuable. And those lessons didn't just end at graduation. They've shown up in the miles I've logged, training for marathons, and the quiet determination it takes to hike up a mountain. The foundation I built at Red River gave me the confidence to keep challenging myself, to keep moving forward, even when the path is steep. The lessons I learned as a young athlete did not begin at Red River, but they were absolutely fueled here. My time at Red River gave me the confidence to lean into my strengths, to embrace challenges, and to trust the process of growth. Today in my career, I rely on the same skills I developed back then, the ability to listen, to lead, and to stay focused when the path is not clear. And beyond work, those same qualities have fueled my passion for endurance and adventure, whether it's training for marathons or hiking Kilimanjaro. The drive to keep going, to push a little further, to embrace the challenge, that was strengthened at Red River. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame isn't just a celebration of past accomplishments, it's a reflection of the values that stay with us throughout a lifetime. The effort, the discipline, the heart that goes into athletics builds something lasting. It teaches us how to show up, how to persevere, and how to support people on and off the court. I'm very proud to be a member of the Red River legacy, and even more proud to share it with my fellow inductees. And lastly, I'd like to thank my family, who's sitting right back here. My 2 kids, my husband, my parents, and my brother. Thank you for all the rides to practices, the pep talks, and the unwavering support through every season. This moment is as much yours as it is mine. Go Rough Riders!
All right, here to induct our next inductee is Devin Paulo.
It's quite an honor to be here to be able to brag about my wife for a little bit today. Randy was a rare four-sport athlete. And she left an enduring mark on Red River High School athletics, earning 15 varsity letters in track and field, basketball, volleyball, and soccer. Randy's varsity career began in 7th grade on the track, which is crazy. I was still trying to figure out how to tie my shoes in 7th grade. Where she excelled as a sprinter and a relay runner. She earned 3 letters in track and field, and as a freshman was part of the school record-setting 4x4 relay team. In basketball, she played a key role in the Rough Riders' 1992 state runner-up finish and helped the team to the state tournament appearances in both 93 and 94. On the volleyball court, Randy earned 3 varsity letters and closed out her senior season with an all-conference honor in 1995. Her most decorated achievements came in soccer, where she was a 6-year varsity starter. She helped lead Red River to state championships in 1990, 91, and 95, along with 3 third-place finishes. Brandy earned first team All-State honors from 92 to 95 and was named North Dakota Miss Soccer in 1995. A 2-time Grand Forks Herald Red River Female Athlete of the Year in 1994 and 95, Brandy finished her soccer career at the Division I level, becoming a 4-year starter at Washington State University. I think she held the squat record there in the weight room as well, and an assist record possibly while she was there. I was fortunate enough to meet Randy right after her career here and ended at Washington State, and knew pretty immediately what a special person she was. So I don't have any stories about her high school career, but my first story about Grand Forks was when I decided to marry her about a month after I met her, and came back here Christmas of 2000, and I said, let's go for a walk, and it was 20 below zero here in Grand Forks. She said, we don't go for walks in Grand Forks, but I convinced her to do that anyways, and the rest is history there. So. I'd love to stand up here and talk about more of her accomplishments as an amazing mother and wife and coach to our kids and a friend and all-around special person, but we'd be up here for a while. So on behalf of all the people that are lucky to have you in our lives, congratulations, and we love you.
Thank you, Devin. I'm really grateful to have you as my partner in life, and I appreciate you supporting me in this honor. I also want to thank the committee. It's very humbled to be a part of this, so thank you so much. I feel very comfortable on the court and on the soccer field in front of people, but not so much speaking, so bear with me. But speaking of support, I definitely want to thank two of my biggest supporters, my mom and my dad. I was lucky because both of my parents were coaches, and they gave me lots and lots of tips. Especially my dad, like MTXE, mental toughness and extra effort. But really what they were doing was providing me with the mentality to be happy in life, because that's what sports did, taught you to be a good person and to put that into your life going forward. So for that, I am really, truly grateful. I also want to give my mom a shout out for being a fierce advocate for the sport I loved, soccer. She helped start Sunflake Soccer and worked to get soccer to become a high school sanctioned sport. So way to go, Mom. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for being my biggest champions. I truly appreciate it. I couldn't have done all of the traveling and all of the games and practices and all those shoes that you needed to buy me. So thank you. I'd also like to thank all of my Red River coaches. Coach Porpadal, who is already inducted into the Hall of Fame. She really set the bar for excellence, and also a lot of footwork, did a lot of footwork. Two of my other coaches are getting inducted today, which is also very special. Coach Royce, you were a masterclass at creating a culture of family, and the care and commitment you set with your team was top-notch, so thank you. Coach Heisler, you saw the potential in each of your track athletes and motivated us all with your smile and infectious positive attitude, so thank you. Another coach I'd like to thank is Coach Campoverde. I was with him for 5 soccer seasons, and he taught me a lot about soccer, especially through example. Our practices always kicked up a notch when he decided to step into practice. And he didn't always go easy on us, but I think I may have gotten past him a few times. He was pretty quick, but I was too. I'd also like to thank my teammates, especially those that drove me to endless number of practices when I was in 7th through 9th grade. So it was nice to have the older classmates that could drive. I have lots of memories with my teammates. We worked hard, laughed, and sometimes cried together, but we always had each other's backs throughout it all. And that was what was most important for me through all of that, was just having that commitment with the team, with my teammates and my coaches, to just have a really great experience. So lastly, I want to thank Red River High School for this awesome honor and providing me in high school with a place filled with wonderful people and an atmosphere to flourish. So thank you.
All right, our next presenter is Red River's head boys track coach, Mr. Jeff Bakus.
Tracy Heisler devoted nearly 3 decades to Red River athletics, leaving a lasting legacy as one of the most accomplished and respected track and field coaches in North Dakota. She served as the head girls track coach from '92 to '96, and again from 2010 to 2021, guiding generations of student athletes with her passion, leadership, and dedication. She was also a girls basketball coach for the Riders from 1992 to 1994. During her tenure, Heisler's teams consistently excelled at the highest levels, The Rough Riders were state runners-up in 95 and 96, claimed the regional championship in 2011, and were a constant force at both the conference and state meets. Over 16 seasons at the state track meet, her teams finished in the top 5 12 times. And at the regional meet, they placed in the top 3 in 15 of 16 seasons. Heisler's coaching career produced outstanding individual results as well. She guided 30 state champions, 20 state runner-ups, and 147 total state placers. Her excellence was recognized widely as she was named EDC Coach of the Year 4 times, Coaches Association Coach of the Year 3 times, and was a 2-time National Coach of the Year nominee. She also received the Coaches Association 20-Year Longevity Award and was honored as the Grand Forks Herald Female Coach of the Year. Beyond the track, Tracy contributed significantly to the growth of athletics across the state and nation. She served on national and state track and cross-country rules committees, the Coaches Association Executive Board, held various leadership roles with the Activities Association, and was an active member of the Red River Coaches Council. In 2021, Tracy closed her chapter at Red River, leaving behind what she affectionately called her littles, but more importantly, leaving a legacy of excellence, mentorship, and commitment to the athletes and programs she served. Her career stands as a model of dedication to both sport and community. So I had the great privilege of serving and working right alongside Tracy for 6 years as head boys track coach while she led the girls team. So although we had separate programs, Tracy went out of her way to help me and the boys team succeed, and she did a tremendous job finding ways to build team camaraderie between the boys and the girls programs in those years. Anyone who knows Tracy understands that she was more than a coach. She was a constant presence, a steady voice, and a source of unwavering dedication in her athletes. Every one of her athletes or assistant coaches knew one thing beyond a doubt: Tracy cared deeply about them. She gave her time, her energy, and her heart to make sure that they succeeded, not just as competitors, but as people. If you attended any track meet where Tracy was coaching, there's no doubt that you heard her unmistakable voice throughout the meet. Whether you were on the starting line, across the field, or halfway around the track, you could always hear her cheering. Her passion carried across the entire stadium, and that pushed her athletes forward, reminding them that she believed in them. Tracy is without a doubt one of the most dedicated coaches you will find. She was instrumental, additionally, in hosting meets, taking charge, and doing a long list of tasks that all of us current coaches are really still trying to figure out how she did it all to this day. So to say that she is still missed by our current coaches, both at Red River and across the state, is an understatement. So Tracy, come on down. Congratulations, you earned it.
According to Jeff, I probably don't really need this, but that's true. I want to thank Tyler and the committee for this honor. I want to thank the many people who served as assistant coaches and mentor coaches over the years to build a program that I hope the girls really wanted to be a part of. I want to thank my husband Rob and our kids for their love, patience, and understanding, for the late nights, missed suppers, and missed activities, so I could do this job that I really love. I am so thankful and blessed for the opportunity to coach so many wonderful young ladies. They helped me to grow and to shape my life. I lived vicariously through them as they competed, and thanks to Facebook, I can still do that today as they have become beautiful, successful, strong women. I am also so very grateful that Red River High School took a chance on a 23-year-old, because that chance started me on a path that has shaped my life for the better. Thank you.
And I can second the chaos of planning a track meet without Tracy, because I feel like every year I talk to Jeff and the other coaches is, well, who does this? I'm like, I don't know, Tracy used to do it all. So definitely miss. So our next presenter is Coach Lee Baker.
afternoon, everyone. When you are in the throes, at least the way it is around here, it's kind of a year-round thing. We compete in the spring, but it's a long, long time. Every single year, a lot of work goes in, and which goes with, we have a lot of stories. But I promised Steph that I wasn't going to say any of them, so I'm going to stick with that promise. So here's her bio. A 1995 graduate of Rooder High School, Stephanie Wiggness is one of the most decorated throwers in North Dakota track and field history. A 4-year letterwoman. She constantly excelled in both the shot put and the discus, earning 14 combined podium finishes at the EDC and state outdoor track meets. Stephanie's dominance reached new heights in 1995 when she won the state title in the discus with a throw of 164 feet 10 inches, which remains today as the 7th best performance in state history. She was also a back-to-back indoor state champion in the shot, which she really loves. And captured outdoor EDC titles in both discus and shot put in 1995. Her outstanding achievements in the 95 season culminated in being named the 1995 Gatorade Athlete of the Year for girls track and field. On the national stage, she was named the All-American in discus, won the prestigious Golden West Invitational, and was honored as AAU Athlete of the Year, and swept the shot put and discus titles at that meet, setting a national record in the discus. Stephanie continued her throwing career at the University of Michigan, where she made an immediate impact. She placed 3rd in the discus at the Big Ten Championships and was named the team's best thrower during the 96-97 season. In 1998, she was honored at the University of Michigan Scholar Athlete and recognized as the greatest student athlete from North Dakota in Michigan history. She earned her bachelor's degree in kinesiology and has continued to inspire future generations of athletes, including her daughter, Shelby, hopefully a future Hall of Famer in her own right. All of that is fantastic, it really is. And there's so many attributes that I'd like to bring out and talk about, but the biggest one, and I think is apparent in everyone here, is perseverance. This attribute can be used for all of our inductees, of course. It certainly is present in Steph. I'd like to note some of these things. So you have a bad throw. What do? You pick up the shot and you throw it again. You have a bad meet. What do? Well, you regroup, you go back to practice the next day, and you prepare yourself for the next meet. And so on as you go through. The perseverance is what makes everything ultimately go. If you just decide to stop, nothing can be achieved. So, I don't know. That's all I have. Congratulations, Steph.
Much homework, ever. So it's a little weird. And again, I got a call from Tyler, and he said, we have to induct you before we induct your daughter. So we'll get you on this one. And so then I kind of scrambled, and thank God for Chat GPT. If I'd have had this in high school, I probably would have got an academic scholarship as opposed to athletic. But first and foremost, I want to thank the committee for this honor of being inducted to the Red River Hall of Fame. Is something I never really imagined. But we're here. And thank you to all the coaches, of course, Lee, Tracy with Royce, Tanner. You guys shaped me as an individual, and you support me as well as the entire community. I'd like to thank Bakes, of course, not only for his guidance and his wisdom, but also his patience. If you know me, that's a gift you need when dealing with me. He was not only a pivotal part of my success as an athlete, but also an amazing friend and a fantastic mentor. And Bakes and Tanner showed me what leadership and dedication look like, and pushing me to my limits and focusing on my goals. And I'm so blessed and thankful that 20 years later they were still doing it, and Tracy came back to do it again, and got to coach my daughter and guide her to her unprecedented success. And thank you to my family, of course. This is as much your achievement as it is mine. You've always believed in me, supported me, and encouraged me to follow my dreams. And without your love and guidance, and without my mom and her little red Figaro traveling across the country supporting me, none of this would have been possible. She was truly a rock in all of that. And I never would have been blessed with the opportunity to attend college any other way than through track and field. I was fortunate enough to graduate from the University of Michigan and get a lifelong lessons and experiences, all by throwing a few objects that weren't fits or parties. I didn't throw those, just a rock and a plate. And when I think back to my time at Red River, the track awards and accolades were really nothing compared to the lessons that I learned and the moments of failure and the friendships formed during grueling practices. They were all day, every day, I swear to God. But also pushing through those hard times. And I realized that this recognition is not just for the things I've accomplished. It's a reflection of the people who've helped me along the way. Success is never a solitary achievement. It's a result of hard work, dedication, and support from everyone around you. So to everyone who's been a part of my journey, thank you. This honor is yours as much as is mine. Thank you.
All right, our next presenter, let's welcome to the stage Coach Tim Tandeschi.
A 1997 graduate of Red River High School, David Curts was a stand-up in both track and field and football. Known for his strength, dedication, and competitive drive, he earned 5 varsity letters in track and field and 2 in football during his time as a Rough Rider, excelling in the throwing events and on the gridiron. David's high school career was highlighted by a state championship in the discus in 1997, capping off a decorated throwing career where he finished as a 6-time state meet placer. His performances in the discus, 188.8, and shot put 60 feet even, still rank among the best in state and school history. Curts held the school discus record for 15 years and currently ranks number 2 in the shot put on the storied Red River all-time list. Curts was also an accomplished javelin thrower, a rare state placer in all 3 throwing events. Furthermore, he was a 2-time state indoor champion and a 4-time East Region champion, winning titles in all throwing disciplines at some point in his career. In 1997, Dave won all 3 throwing events of shot, discus, and javelin at the East Region track meet. His remarkable consistency earned him 832 career points for the Riders, the 4th highest total of any athlete in school history. On the football field, his athleticism and power made him a key contributor, where he earned 2 varsity letters as part of Red River's football program. After high school, David pursued his passion for athletics
and established himself as a dominant force in public safety athletics on both national and international stages. He is a U.S. Police and Fire Championship gold medalist in the 40 to 44-year-old age division for both discus and shot put. And in 2023, he earned World Police and Fire Games champion titles in the discus, javelin, and shot put. An extraordinary achievement that speaks to his lifelong dedication to sport and fitness. Dave is not just one of the best shot put and discus throwers in the history of our program. He's one of the best shot put and discus throwers in the history of the state of North Dakota. When Dave threw the discus, it was a thing of beauty. Dave was a fabulous technician. He was one of the fastest discus throwers I've ever seen across the circle. He's not a tall guy, but he's got long arms, and he was very explosive thanks to a lot of dedication in the weight room and through a lot of training that he did. He threw just a tremendous amount of time. Dave was a super young man to coach and to work with, and he loves track and field throwing so much that he actually coaches himself now at Thompson, just down the road from us, and it's always a pleasure to coach against and with Dave, and it was just a pleasure for me to get to present for him today. Your next inductee into the Hall of Fame is Dave Curts.
Bright lights, I don't know if I like them, but I'm not very good at speaking, especially publicly. I want to thank Tyler for reaching out. I want to congratulate everybody else that's inducted into the Hall of Fame. Couldn't have done it without any coaches, looking up to other athletes in the program. Just learned how to work hard. That's the biggest thing. And couldn't have done it without my parents, getting me places, doing things. I got some young kids coming up. Hopefully, we're working on making sure they're going to be rough riders, and that's where we're going to be. So, I think they get to see a little bit more, seeing their dad up here, open their eyes a little bit more, and working on different things. So, I'm sorry. I got it for y'all. I guess if you guys want to take this into, they talk about 60 feet, 188 feet. I was the same height, only about 170 pounds. So if you look at a lot of these throwers, you guys have had some big guys. You know, you're talking over 6 feet, like 6'5", 300 pounds. They're big guys. Just to be able to do it at that size is pretty good. And I remember the day that I called Bates in 18 and said, hey, I'm going to go throw and do this. And he's like, you're going to do what? What size are you throwing? And I go, well, 16-pound ball in college, all college. And he's like, oh, boy. Well, I went down, did it in San Diego, and did pretty well. There's a couple gold medals, and then a couple years later, I called him and I said, hey, I'm going to go up here and do it up here in Worlds for having the chance to compete, I guess. And I was going to go this summer, but a little injury happened, so we couldn't go down and play again. But next summer, hopefully. That stuff's heavy to throw. So I want to thank everybody. Everybody that came out, for everybody else to support everybody in your family. Red River is big. It's a big thing to be a big part of the family. That's what our throwing program has been. It's been a huge family, and it still is to this day. And it means a lot to be a part of a big family. And we're all across the state of North Dakota still coaching. If you look, there's different ones of us everywhere. So thank you.
All right, let's welcome Coach Delmore back to the stage.
The next recipient is Matt Mahoney, who wasn't able to be here today. I had the privilege of coaching Matt in basketball, and he was a coach's dream. He was a 6'3" point guard that could handle the ball. He could score, he could rebound, and he was a great defender. He had a very good career and made a big impact on Red River basketball. But probably his biggest accomplishments were in a sport we didn't even have at that time, and that's baseball. He was one of the most dominant players in the history of the state in baseball. He took that same athletic ability as a 6'3" lanky pitcher, and he was pretty unstoppable. Matt Mahoney was a 1997 graduate of Red River High School. He was a multiple sport standout who made his mark on basketball and the baseball diamond before going to a professional career in scouting. As a 3-year varsity basketball player and starter, Mahoney earned all EDC in 1997 as a dynamic guard. On the baseball field, he was a key contributor to the Grand Forks Royals Legion team in 96 and 97, leading them to back-to-back runner-up finishes. Although individual awards were not given for Legion baseball, Mahoney's impact was undeniable. He recorded 19 pitching wins and 185 strikeouts over 2 seasons. Matt continued his baseball career at the University of North Dakota, where he emerged as one of the nation's top Division II pitchers. In 1999, he earned all North Central Conference and all regional honors and finished second in the nation in strikeouts per 9 innings. In 2000, he was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers as a pitcher. Following his playing career, Mahoney transitioned into scouting and has since built a highly successful 20-year career as a Major League Baseball scout, working for the Red Sox, with whom he was part of the 3 World Series championships, and finally with the New York Mets. So congratulations to Matt Mahoney. I hope you're watching us out there.
Now that you just went down, let's come back up. Mr. Delmore, you got one more.
The next person I would like to present to is Mike Bakus. I had the privilege of coaching Mike for 4 years in high school and 4 years in college, and I had the chance to see some amazing performances by Mike. I first saw Mike as a 9th grader. He came up for the last 2 weeks of the season, maybe for 2 practices, and competed in 1 meet. The next year in football, I had thought of Mike as being one of the real potential jumpers that we're going to have in Red River. I was standing on the sidelines about 5 feet away. Mike was carrying a ball and I heard this crunch. Looked up and saw his foot pointing straight sideways. He broke his tibia and fibula right through. And at that point, they thought Mike probably wouldn't be able to compete in athletics. Not only did he compete, he competed that spring and went on to the career that he had. He was probably the most dominant triple jumper in the history of the state. Triple jump was a sport that was introduced late in North Dakota, and people knew nothing about it. If you asked people what the triple jump was, they didn't have a clue. When we went to the state meet before Mike Bakus, there'd probably be a handful of parents and coaches watching the event. That was it. His senior year, he broke the meet record every meet, which is incredible. And not by inches, by feet. The state track meet, there was a ton of people that were watching the triple jump. And that's continued. It's probably one of the most popular events there is, and partially because Mike Bakus was the pioneer. A 1998 graduate of Red River High School, Mike Bakus was a standout in both track and field and football. A 4-time letter winner in track and a 2-time letter winner in football, his athleticism, work ethic, and competitive drive made him one of the most decorated athletes in school history. In track and field, Mike's senior year was one for the record books. He went undefeated in the triple jump, both indoor and outdoor season, breaking the meet record every competition, and he still holds some records after all that time, including the EDC and state championship meets. He was a 5-time state meet placer, winning both the indoor and outdoor triple jump titles his senior year, while setting records in each. His state championship mark of 46.9 was a North Dakota state record that stood for 22 years. His high school mark of 47.7 still remains third in the history of the state. Mike's triple jump prowess is unmatched, but he also left Red River as a school record holder in the long jump and still ranks 4th in history today. In his career, he consistently racked up points in all jumping events, as well as the 110 hurdles and sprint relays. He was a 3-time All-Eastern Dakota Championship in the triple jump and once in the high jump, and an 8-time placer in the state in the region tournament. His 1998 season, he amassed 473 points, which is incredible. Nobody's come within 80 points of his senior year point totals. In only 3 seasons of high school track, and that's another thing, we didn't have freshmen at that time. So Mike scored all those points in 3 seasons. He scored 732 points, that's number 7 in school history. On the football field, he was a key contributor and earned all conference honors as a defensive standout in 1997. After high school, Mike competed in track and field at the University of North Dakota, where he was named UND's All-Sports Rookie of the Year in 1997, and he served as a 2-time captain. He was an 8-time NCC All-Conference performer in the triple jump, a conference champion, and a 6-time NCAA championship qualifier. He earned NCAA All-American honors in the triple jump, and he still holds the UND record. I would like to introduce to you Mike Bakus.
Yeah, everybody's right, it is bright up here. Try to keep it quick for everybody. Thanks to the selection committee, really appreciate being honored with this. Also very humbled to be a part of this class full of just exceptional athletes all around. Very grateful to have the opportunity to compete alongside of a lot of the athletes actually that are being inducted today. I think about 5 or 6 of them I've either had the opportunity to compete with or to watch. So just kind of says, or speaks pretty heavily to the type of athletes and the depth of the I guess the performances that are done here. Yeah, I guess I'd like to start off by saying thanks to a few great teammates, specifically Big Zim, Kelly Kalina, came and picked me up at Schrader Middle School every day those last couple weeks. I remember him pulling up in the parking lot with Zim's wood panel minivan, yelling across the parking lot for me and Jeff Zimmy to get our butts over there and get back over to Red River for practice. Also, like to thank all the guys in the 97 flood year. That was a very different time for everybody in high school. Basically, didn't have a team for the most part. Everybody kind of spread out once everything hit, and we'd kind of show up if we could at track meets and compete with whoever was there. But the seniors that were there that year, Dave was on that team, did a really good job of giving us some sort of sense of normalcy in a really abnormal time. So we really appreciate them. And then the senior year, those guys, especially Aaron Byrne, I really appreciate all of our experiences together. We were both co-captains at Red River here, both state champions, both went to UND together, both co-captains there, both All-Americans there. And we're the best man or men at each other's weddings. So, lifelong friendship came out of that, and really appreciate being able to have him in my life. Yeah, big thanks to my parents for supporting and traveling with me. all over the place, especially, I mean, like Delmer said, triple jump wasn't a very well-known event. It's not a very long event. So there were times where they traveled halfway across the country to watch me compete for a couple minutes. So really appreciate them for that. Also appreciate them for exposing me to essentially elite level athletics at a young age. Uncle was an Olympic level shot putter, so we did family trips to the Olympic trials in 1988, 1992, so I got a chance to see people like Carl Lewis and Jackie Joyner Kersey, Evan Moses, a lot of these big names in track and field, got a chance to watch them compete at a young age and kind of say, you know what, that's kind of something I want to do. Thanks to my wife, sitting down in front here, and my boys at home for putting up with all of our back in the day stories whenever we get back together. There's a lot of them, and it oftentimes goes late and goes a lot longer than they want to be there. So appreciate you guys for putting up with that. Finally, just thanks to great coaches, specifically Coach Bob Zimney. Started off Monday night track meets with him, just showing up, doing whatever we could at those meets as I don't know, I think I was 10 or 9 when I started doing that. Then all the way through and working at those meets, and remember all the Lammer kids running around there announcing their names when they're winning all their events. But then as I competed here, him teaching me everything he could about hurdling, and I absorbed, I don't know, half of it maybe. So appreciate everything Bob did. Then also I want to specifically call it Tom Hogan. He was one of our assistant coaches. He was a college kid, came over to help out, and worked with me in the off season doing form drills, plyometrics, things like that. And for a college kid to come over and put that time in, I really appreciate that. And wouldn't have made the strides I did without him. Then finally, Coach Delmore. Like I said, been together, or had been together for about, I don't know, just short of a decade. Just an exceptional coach, exceptional person. Whether it's just keeping me calm before big meets, telling the two bulls story, which I can tell to anybody else afterwards, but can't say it up here. Or trying to teach me something new, trying to work on very small intricacies of my form, things like that. Just appreciate all the time and effort that he put in for that. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it kind of with one of the biggest things that he taught me, not only for competition, but in life. It says you measure your progress on your bad days. If you're continually getting better on your bad days, then you're making progress. Anybody can have a good day, anybody can have a good jump, a good performance, but to have a good career, you have to measure your progress based on your bad days. And so that's something I've always kind of taken with me, whether it's in track, in life. It seems like that's worked out really well. So, yeah, I know I'm probably missing out on some people. Got the kind of same response to the call in May, and started thinking through, who do I want to thank with all this stuff, and I want to try to keep it somewhat short here. And I know I'm missing people, but just know that your contributions aren't forgotten. It was fun to go down memory lane as I thought about all of this stuff and all these stories throughout. And just really appreciate it, and very honored to be brought into the Hall of Fame here. So thank you.
All right, next to present our next inductee is Coach Bob Zimney.
Aaron Burnt. Doesn't ring a bell. Just kidding, of course. First of all, let me read his very, very impressive bio here. Aaron Burnt, a 1998 graduate of Red River High School, was a standout in both track and field and cross country. He earned 3 varsity letters in track and 2 in cross country, earning all state honors 8 times in track and once in cross country. He was known for his exceptional versatility, becoming an all-state distance runner, while also earning track most valuable player as a sprinter in the same season. He was a 3-time state champion at the 1998 state track meet, winning the 400-meter dash as an individual and anchoring the 4x400 and 4x800 relay teams to state titles. That 1998 4x400 relay team remains Red River's school record to this day. He was also a 2-time East Region champion, and he still sits number 2 on Red River's all-time performance list in the 400-meter dash. And he's number 2 by 1/100th of a second. After high school, Aaron competed at the University of North Dakota, where he was an NCAA All-American in the 800-meter run. He was a 4-year letter winner in both track and field and cross country at UND, and he served as a team captain in both sports. He set 9 school records while competing for the University of North Dakota, 3 of which still stand today. Aaron began coaching at Wayzata High School in Minnesota in 2003. Where he has led one of the most successful high school track and field programs in the United States. His teams have produced 38 Minnesota state event champions, 306 all-state athletes, and 15 team state championships. That includes both true team state championships and Minnesota High School League titles. He has been named Minnesota Section Coach of the Year 5 times. He was a USA Track and Field Coaches Association National Coach of the Year in 2015, and the National High School Coaches Association National Coach of the Year in 2016. As an assistant coach in cross country, he's helped guide 10 state championship teams. It's like I mentioned to Coach Becky yesterday. I said, why are we inducting this guy? A few comments about Aaron Burnt. Last night I was talking to Aaron, and I found out that this past spring, his high school boys track team, there were 245 boys out for track. Holy crap. I'm sure we had teams here at Red River where we had 45. We had 245. That's pretty fantastic. That lets you know the kind of coach and person he is to get those kind of numbers out for his sport. Okay, and you heard some of the results that his teams have too. Here's something that really impressed me. I looked on his team website, and last year in the 60-meter dash, there was a list for his team, all of the boys for his team that ran the 60-meter dash last year. There were 106 of them, just for his team that ran the 60-meter dash. In the 100-meter dash, when they moved outdoors, 98 boys ran the 100-meter dash for Aaron Burnt's team last year. Holy crap, that's a lot. Obviously, he gets them to come out, he gets them to stay out, he gets them to excel. And the Wayzata school records are unbelievable, tremendous. And UND, I went and checked the top 10 for every event at UND for indoor track and outdoor track. For indoor track, Aaron Burnt's name is on the UND list 5 times. For outdoor track, his name is on the all-time top 10 list 7 different times. And he was a captain while he was at UND, both cross country and track. That tells you something. Red River High School. Well, you heard that Aaron's senior year, he was state champ in the 400-meter dash, and he anchored 2 winning relays. Aaron, especially his senior year here in track, he was such a confident athlete and so competitive in what I consider to be the 2 toughest races that there are in the sport of track and field. The 400-meter dash and the 800-meter run, which the way Aaron ran it, it was a dash. And those always have been in my mind the 2 toughest races there are in track and field. And Aaron, you know, he excelled in them. And this is senior year, he was awesome. And you know, those races require speed, stamina, strength, and guts. And he had all of that in spades, I guarantee you. So, you know, he was a great high school athlete here at Red River, had a great college career here at UND, and he's a great coach at Wayzata, Minnesota High School. So it's my honor and privilege to introduce Aaron Burt as the latest member of the Red River High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
First off, thanks, Coach Zim. I really appreciate it. That means a lot. It means a lot coming from you to list a lot of those accolades, which you said just then. A lot of the success I've had here in high school, NCAA, and now I've been very fortunate to coach a lot of talented individuals in the high school ranks now. And a lot of times people ask me, so Aaron, what is your secret? What do you guys do which gets 106 kids in the 60, or whatever those stats are? And if it's a rival coach, a lot of times I just say, I'm just a little bit smarter than you. But the honest answer is a lot more than that, and a lot of it boils down to a lot of the things that I was able to learn while I went to school here. It stems from the support that I would have from my own family. Both my mom, Irene, is here. My dad, Jerry, is here. And there was rarely a meet, a game, a musical performance that I did not see their faces, and I'm thankful that they're here today too. My coaches that I had here, Coach Delmore, Zimney, Inductee, Jared Brugman, Joe Bailey, were truly transformational coaches that they could teach how to do an event extremely well, as evidenced by my teammates that excelled, myself that was fortunate enough to be able to excel. But what really stood out was the ability for them to teach the character that I try to model in everything that I do. I've been able to use the lessons that I taught to be a better spouse. To my wife, Katie, who's here, my wife of 22 years, who's a good runner in her own right. To my role as a friend, Mike mentioned a little bit ago here, which has truly been an honor to be able to meet here and stay close with. My time as a parent now, my daughter Elise is here, who's an absolute star on the stage. And my son, who is not here, he had a race this morning, who's starting to become an accomplished runner in his own rights. None of that happens without my experience here at this high school. So my long answer is, what have I done, or what is my secret to be able to be successful? It is take the lessons that these individuals have installed within me and apply that to my own teams. I'm extremely honored by this community, by the lessons and the experiences I had here, and I am extremely honored to Tyler for you to bring us here and for everything that you've been able to do for us this weekend. Thank you.
next presenter, let's welcome back Coach Tim Tandeschi. No booze, that's pretty good.
Just want to say to Mark Bergie, 5'6" is not down here. I'm 5'8". Just wanted to say that. Next inductee is Joe Wilson. 1998 graduate of Red River High School, Joe Wilson was a well-rounded student athlete and leader. He earned varsity letters in football, 2, basketball, 2, and track and field, 3, excelling across all 3 sports. On the football field, Joe was a dynamic quarterback and team captain. He earned all-conference and all-state honors, was named Red River's most valuable offensive player in both 1997 and 1998, and received all-city recognition. He was selected to compete in both the North Dakota Shrine Bowl and the KC's North Dakota versus Montana All-Star Game. To this day, Joe ranks among the top 5 all-time in nearly every quarterback statistic at Red River, and he still holds the #1 spot in passing yards per game, averaging just over 160 yards. On the court, he was a senior captain for the Rough Rider basketball team, and in track and field, Joe was the 1996 state runner-up in the javelin throw before winning back-to-back state titles in 1997 and 1998. He was also a 2-time East Region champion in the javelin, and his best throw of 192 feet 6 inches ranks #5 on the school's all-time old rules javelin list. After high school, Joe competed in both football and track at the University of North Dakota. He was a 4-time letter winner in track and a 3-time letter winner in football as a quarterback. At UND, he was recognized as the team's unsung hero, received the Marcus Bryant Award, and was an integral piece of the 2001 National Championship team. He saved their season against St. Cloud State. I was there. He remains one of the top performing quarterbacks in postseason history, ranking in the top 10 in completions, passing yards, and touchdown passes, and holding the 2nd best career completion percentage in program history. Joe was a heck of a competitor back in the day. He won the state championship in 1997 on his last throw. His PR 192.6 was at the state track meet as a senior. And as impressive as Joe was as a young man, he's even more impressive as an adult now. He and his wife had this just beautiful family. And every time I see Joe, he treats me so well. I feel like I don't even deserve it. Bismarck St. Mary's is playing Red River last year. And I'm looking into the sun like these lights, it's really bright, and I hear, "Coach Tandeschi!" I have no idea who it is. And I walk up, it's Joe. He hugs me, and he introduces me to his family and his wife and his kids, and gives me everybody's name, and I'm just so touched by, the way he treats me. And then the next morning, Pat B calls me and he says, "God, you'll never guess who I ran into today at the store." He goes, "Joe Wilson." And he tells me the same exact story of the night before. And Pat says, honestly, he says, "Joe and I butted heads back in the day sometimes." And it was mostly Pat butting his head up against Joe's. And Joe was so kind to him, and hugged him, and again, he introduced him to his family, and Joe's just a wonderful person. So I'd like to introduce to you the next inductee into the High School Hall of Fame, Joe Wilson.
Yeah, he deserves everything. Just reflecting on this weekend, I just keep thinking about Coach Tandeschi. He looks the same today as he did back in junior high. It's like, I don't know if did Coach Delmore, did they sleep in the freezer or something? You don't age. Thanks so much for the passion that you gave us, and fundamentals that you taught us, how to like just throw the jab. I was a javelin thrower. I'm honored to be in the same class as Aaron Burnt and Bakus and Curts, and the 90s class was pretty awesome. You guys would go out and get your 20, 30, 40 points because you're in four events, and I better get my 10 because I just throw the javelin. And my whole thing is Curts is going to win the shot on the disc, and I better win the javelin. We pushed each other. We were good teammates, and we worked hard. Coach Delmore, Coach Zimney in the track, and Coach Tandeschi. Amazing practices, and Coach Burnt talked about getting kids out. I was like a 7th or 8th grader on the football field in junior high, South Junior High, and Pete came up and he's like, with Tandeschi, and they're like, I think you should throw the javelin. I'm like, what's a javelin? I thought it was like a pencil or something. And they're like, you throw it, it looks like a spear. So I went to bed that night thinking like, how do I do that? He invited me to the practice the next day, and I could throw spirals as a quarterback, thanks to my dad's passion for quarterbacking, but I was able to throw the javelin pretty good on day one, and I just loved it, and they made practices fun. Coach Zimney, Coach Delmore, and Coach Tandeschi just made practices fun, and yeah, you deserve all the respect in the world. You coaches put in the time and the effort and inspired us all to coach my kids. All of them are in the same things they throw. Tommy was in the state track meet last year, javelin, and that is inspired by you and making it fun, passing it on. And the football side of it is, thanks to God for talents. My dad always said, he passed away like 10 years ago, and he's like, we'd drop us up at school, and he'd always say, use your talents wisely. And I say that to my kids right now. I got 7 of them up there. I say, use your talents wisely. So I tried to. Work hard, use my talents wisely. And God was good to me because I was able to, play football for Coach King and my dad, and you guys were coaching football too. And I was able to play football at UND and meet my beautiful wife, Laura. And now we have 7 kids with 1 on the way, 4 boys. We're gonna have 4 boys and 4 girls. So it's fun how you just follow your passion and listen to God and do His will, and things just work out. So congratulations to everybody in this Red River Hall of Fame class. It was really cool. The competitiveness in me is that my 7 kids outlasted the Lemroos and the Curts' kids. I didn't hear any outbreaks out there. They kind of thinned out like my hair here, so it's cool to be in the last, and I can't wait to hear the last 2. Becky Nyberg was our classmate too, and thank you, Tyler. Again, I thought it was kind of a joke too, but humbling experience, and congratulations to everybody here. Thank you very much. My mom's watching right now too. My dad and my mom. My dad was the quarterback passion. He just loved the quarterback position. But my mom was the one that taught me how to say down set hut, down set hut. And then Tanner also coached my 2 sisters to state champions. I think Katie had 2 and Mary had 1, and Pat was a football player. So just thanks again for all the time and everything, and thanks for my family, brothers and sisters, and hopefully the other thing I thought about, this is kind of funny. I was trying to find 1 minute of me playing football. Now it's all reels and it's videos, and everybody has a phone, and I'm like, I literally have my VCR up on my counter. I pull a VCR out of the attic. I'm sitting on the TV, and one of the kids comes by and is like, what's that? I had a stack of VHS tapes, and it's all grainy, and I'm like, Tommy, that's me. You can barely even tell it's you. We're watching old game film, and there was like 10 minutes of it, and then it just went on to like Katie. And then I start putting tapes in. I'm like, this is Joe Javelin, and it just got me like warming up. And then all of a sudden, it's Katie and Mary. VHS, everything got recorded over. So I barely have any tapes to show my kids. So when kids get older, they look at you like, Dad's saying what? And so I don't, now I'm like, it's kind of proof that, hey, I kind of knew what I was doing. I had good coaches to teach me, and now I'm not full of crap. You listen to the good form, and it's just kind of fun to be here with them and sharing this moment with family and everyone, and my friends and stuff. So thank you guys.
All right, we got a couple more inductees left, and let's welcome back Mr. Delmore.
You're almost done with me, so. First of all, I'd like to congratulate and thank all the people who received awards today for all the contributions you made at Red River High School, both as students and as athletes. But most of all, the ambassadors that you've been to Red River High School in your lives. You know, we've got a lot of very successful people, and I think most of you have remembered your roots. Of all you nominees and award winners, I would like you to raise your hand if you ever wake up in the morning with aches and pains from all the stuff you did. And I think that's a constant reminder of all the hard work that you've done in your lifetime. I was talking to Becky Nyberg, who's the next award winner, and she was telling me about how much her knees and hips and ankles hurt, which is very reminiscent of jumpers. Becky Nyberg was another great ambassador to the sport of track and field. She was a triple jumper, again when triple jumpers weren't very popular, and I had the privilege of coaching Becky in the high jump and triple jump, which she was a multiple state placer. In her career at NDSU, I was coaching at UND at the time, and I really had to hold back the cheers when she made the bar, jumping for the bison. Not only because she was a bison, but we were competing against her, but I also was always hoping that she would win. Becky Nyberg was a 1998 graduate of Red River High School and a two-sports standout who left a lasting legacy in both gymnastics, which was another unheralded sport, and track and field. In gymnastics, she competed from 1994 to 1998 and was recognized early in her career with the Hardest Worker Award in 93 and 94 and 94-95. She contributed to a team success as well, helping Red River to a first place regional finish in 1995 and an EDC title in 1996. On the track, Becky was a dynamic athlete for the Rough Riders in 1994 and 98. Across 4 state meets, she was a 6-time placer in the high jump, triple jump, and 100 meters. In 1996, she won the state high jump title with the school record and set a school record in the triple jump with a jump of 37 feet 1 inch, a record that stood for 19 years. She was also a 2-time state runner-up in the triple jump, a 2-time EDC regional champion in the high jump, and a consistent point scorer in the sprints and jumps. Her senior year culminated in 1998 with the girls track and field championship. They were state champions that year thanks to Becky's contributions. Her all-around excellence was recognized in 1996 and 1997. She was named Red River Sophomore and Junior Female Athlete of the Year. She continued her track and field career at North Dakota State University, earning multiple All-Conference, All-American, and All-Academic honors. She set a school record in the pole vault, which she had never done in high school, as a freshman in 1999, and placed at several NCC championships, and twice finished 7th at the NCAA Division II Indoor Nationals to earn All-American recognition. She capped her career with a 2nd place high jump finish at the 2001 NCC Outdoor Meet and a top 10 finish at the NCAA Outdoor Nationals. It's my privilege to recognize Becky Nyberg.
So I just want to say thank you, Tyler, for everything. I know I didn't get to see any of this stuff yesterday. coming in late last night, but I do appreciate everything you guys put into it. Thank you, of course, to my coaches, Coach Tim Fillmore, for all of his patience over the years. Coach Tracy, who I agree, I could always hear everywhere on the track. I'd be running, and I could hear her cheering all the way at the other end. So I appreciated everything you guys did for me. Thank you to my family. My brother Jeff came today to help out and support me. And my boys are at home watching. I promised I would say hi. So that's it. Thank you.
And here to introduce our final inductee of the 2025 class is Linda Wynn.
Thank you. I practiced reading this out loud to my husband and his brother, and when I looked up, one of them was sleeping, so hope I don't do that to you. So Tim Wynn, my name is Linda Abar Wynn, by the way. Tim Wynn made a historic impact on Red River High School athletics throughout his coaching career in tennis. He began his journey at Red River as an assistant boys tennis coach under head coach Kerry Jager with the 1996 state championship team. Tim coached the Red River girls tennis program from 2002 to 2011. This was a decade defined by unprecedented dominance and excellence. Under Tim's leadership, the Rough Rider girls tennis team achieved a perfect decade of success, winning both the Eastern Dakota Conference and the state championships every single year of his tenure. His teams compiled an incredible record of 164 wins and 0 losses, a historic streak in the North Dakota high school athletics. During that time, his players also claimed 10 state singles titles and 8 state doubles championships, a testament to both the depth and the consistency of his program. Tim's coaching excellence earned him numerous accolades. He was named the North Dakota High School Coach of the Year in both 2003 and 2005. In 2006 and 2007, he received the prestigious North Dakota Associated Press Sportscasters and Sports Writers High School Coach of the Year honor. He was also recognized with the North Dakota Associated Press Sportscasters and Sports Writers Special Achievement Award in 2011 and 2012 and was a finalist for the National High School Coach of the Year in 2010. Alongside his twin brother, Tom Wynn, Tim also received several distinguished honors in the tennis community, including being named Grand Forks Herald Sportspersons of the Year in 2008, receiving the United States Tennis Association Frank Voigt Award in 2008, being inducted into both the United States Tennis Association Northern Hall of Fame and the North Dakota Tennis Hall of Fame in 2014, and the Tom Clifford Award in 2015. I'll just say one interesting fact about Tim, and this also includes his twin brother Tom, is that they share the same birthday as the famous tennis pro John McEnroe. Great privilege for me to be honored bringing up my husband here, in my opinion, the #1 teaching tennis pro in the upper Midwest.
Actually, there were 2 people sleeping when she was reading that. Either way, first of all, I'd like to thank Tyler and his committee for selecting me, and congratulations to all the other honorees. I'd like to get up there and say that, you know, we won a bunch of championships based on, the coaching genius that I am, but I know better. When you have a team, as Linda had said, that had, during the 10 years that I was there, and the 10 years of state singles champion and 8 years of state doubles champions, you're going into every match with a big upper hand. The only pressure I really felt was, don't screw this up. Because by and large, we were Moby Dick in the goldfish bowl. But either way, it was those 10 years. I think that most of the matches that we played, especially in the Eastern region, where I was afforded the opportunity, since we had so many players, that I could play more than the 6 players that most of the other teams would play. Most of the time we played 8 to 12 players, and I think in the long run that helped develop chemistry on the team, and also gave more opportunity for kids to play and really find out where their strengths or weaknesses were. But either way, I appreciate the honor, and thanks again.
All right, in closing, I know it definitely got to be a little bit longer ceremony. I told our student photographer it'd be about an hour and a half, and we're close. I was told my wife I'd be home for church at 5, and I don't think that's going to happen either, but she's a forgiving person. But again, I look at the time we spent here today, and although, yeah, maybe went a little longer than we all anticipated, but to sit here and listen to the stories and traditions, it's worth it, especially for someone not from Grand Forks to hear all these amazing athletes and coaches and contributors. It's just truly an honor to be part of the Rough Rider family. So I'm greatly honored for that. On behalf of Red River High School, I want to sincerely thank everyone for being here today to honor and celebrate our newest Hall of Fame inductees. Once again, this event would not be possible without the hard work of the Hall of Fame committee, the support of our staff, volunteers, and of course the friends and families, teammates who have helped shape the journeys of everyone here today. And finally, to our inductees, congratulations once again. You have left a lasting mark on Red River Athletics, and your legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you. One follow-up, like I mentioned, we're going to try and get all the inductees over by the main office right away to get a group photo. That way we can release our student photographer. So once we release here, just quickly go over there, get that picture. We'll leave the stage up if you want to come back, and the lights on if you want to come back for pictures. There's refreshments in the commons. Stay as long as you want. There's a homecoming dance at 8, so if you stick around long enough, you might be able to get a dance in. So
we're still looking for chaperones.
Face to face with plenty of space is the rule. So thanks again, guys. We appreciate it.
can see they're
Those are all.
I know Bob is for sure.
Oh, is that in the seat?
I think you just get on it
It's so like, because I got December teaching or something.
And actually still doing it today. I know students email me and all sorts of, oh yeah.
Oh, Chihuahua, yes, absolutely.